Hello. I wanted to have a discussion with you guys on some stuff that's going down and pretty much something that we definitely need to have a constructive conversation on. I can't but help to wonder the direction that we're going. And when I talk about this, I want to talk with my fellow man. I don't care about your politics. I don't care about your background. I don't I I don't worry about any of that. But I definitely want to address the talking points of the defunding. I also want to address, us talking about abolishing the police. And when we speak these types of things into existence, I can't but help to wonder, like, what does that mean? What does that mean for you and I? I mean, I got to be honest, man. I'm not no multi-millionaire. I don't live in no gated community. I don't have no galops of money and finances and resources or anything like that. But I do want to know, what does that mean for me? We're talking about defunding. We're talking about that we don't want them in certain areas, that we want the money to go to other resources such as rehab, bulk rehab. Um, Talking points of, maybe we should do putting into medical and all assortment of stuff. And I'd be like, well, I could have sworn those things were already out there. If these things are already out there, because mind you, you can go ahead and go get some type of medical help. You just got to go apply for it. Granted, you see in certain areas that, I don't want to take care of nobody on food stamps and anything like that, but you pay for that out of your taxes. You already pay for that. So you're not taking care of nobody, but to be honest, that socialism is already in the program of the people. You know what I'm saying? When you get old, you got programs set up for senior citizens and youth that are disabled. So I got to ask the question: we're talking about getting rid of the police, but who will that honestly be the best or provide for? Who would that honestly boost up? Why is it that we only see certain demographics preaching and happy and shouting for that? I gotta wonder, like, who's this gonna benefit? That's crazy. You're saying ain't no one saying abolish the police, but literally there's a whole column about that with a social justice warrior by the name of Colin Kaepernick that said we need to abolish the police. Let me make sure I highlight your statement. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna say ain't no one saying abolish the police. Let's go ahead and bring that out, because I understand some of y'all don't read or watch. So if you're gonna say something, John, make sure you actually read before you open your mouth. So here we have it right here. Colin Kaepernick calls to abolish police after Breonna Taylor's decision. San Francisco, California, Colin Kaepernick shared some powerful words to social media Wednesday after officials announced that no police officers will be charged directly for Breonna Taylor's death in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, we understand that that literally irritated and upset a lot of people, and rightly so. I didn't want Breonna Taylor to die. I didn't want that. I didn't want that girl to be shot up in her own home. Did you? Did anybody want Breonna Taylor to die? We cannot refute that that was a bad police practice. We cannot refute that there have been many cop shootings and that literally they get to skate away free. So, in saying that people are getting angry and upset because the same type of equation of on and on and on that somebody gets to shoot somebody without the proper justice system working in for them, that literally they get to move on with their life and get to live a full functional life, or don't even do a full 5 years after walking in when a young man is eating a bowl of ice cream. I can understand why some people say fuck the police. So when somebody says oh, it's the police, I can understand why a family will say, yeah, get rid of them. He put in there the white supremacist, as it says, the white supremacist institution of policing that stole Breonna Taylor's life from us must be abolished from the safety and well-being of our people. The former San Francisco 49ers QB is no stranger to speaking up against racial injustice, social injustice. Cap created the Know Your Rights Camp, a free campaign for youth to raise awareness on self-empowerment and interacting with law enforcement. Now we can't lie because Colin Kaepernick, he did get blacklisted out of the NFL because he was saying some things that made people feel uneasy. Campaign Instagram page, which has nearly 430,000 followers, focuses on the liberation and well-being of Black, Brown communities through education. Now, let's stop right there. Let's hold off right there. They're literally 430 followers, and you have where people are saying that, hey, we don't want it here. We don't want that type of energy. So, I mean, we got to ask the question. I mean, and welcome conservative. I mean, we got to understand that certain people feel a certain type of way. They do. Who would this be? Who would this better suit if this thing were to so happen? Y'all don't mind conservative. He's just a troll. That's all. That's all his YouTube thing is for, just for trolling. So don't worry about him. Don't time him out. He's just for trolling. But I'm curious to ask the question on if these so things were to happen, how would they honestly pan out and work for everybody else? Because honestly, I can't lie, in doing these kind of things, would this honestly get people killed? Would this rid itself of crime? Another angle of Taylor. They found nothing in the house. If old boy ain't shoot, Bree would still be alive and they might have beat any case connected to the operation. When we ask the thing about it, we hear a lot about protect your castle. Is that not something that is fair for everyone or for certain people? Does anybody know what protect your castle doctrine is? Let me go ahead and pull that up. Castle doctrine, the common law principle of castle doctrine, says the individual has the right to use reasonable force, including deadly force, to protect themselves against an intruder in their home. This principle has been codified and expanded by state legislators, also known as stand your ground. We saw George Zimmerman use stand your ground. Castle doctrine falls in there. You have a lot of states that bring up castle doctrine. And we got to ask if fair enough. And I mean, majority of states cover castle doctrine. And I got to ask the question: do you trust your community enough? Yes, I agree, Jay Sean. Kentucky does have castle doctrine. You got to ask the question, man. Because honestly, y'all saying that, hey, these movements need to go, then I mean, so do certain groups get to walk around the streets with guns? You know, we got to ask the question. Now, I mean, everybody's free to speak their mind, but I got to ask that question. So, how much do you trust your fellow man to watch your back? How much do you trust certain militias to watch out and keep you safe? Because if the police are gone, so are you trusting militias to do the job? Hmm? We have a lot of set issues happening, and we get it. I so get it, man. We got a lot of celebrities putting in their input on these things, but I got to be real with you. These celebrities don't live where you live. Charles Barkley spoke his mind. Shaquille O'Neal spoke his mind. You know what I'm saying? They got to say what they got to say. And, you know, everybody has a right to their opinion, but these people don't live amongst you and I. So I have to ask the question that, honestly, who are you looking to be your savior if when we do the defunding? And do you trust your neighbor enough to watch your back? Or may that might be the same person that actually pulled the trigger on you. Thank you for the donation. I'm doing a realistic conversation here. Thank you. Thank you, Councilor Murray. Are we saying that we ready to step up and actually start taking care of being the men and women of our communities and doing and handing and brandishing out justice? Are we going to be holding those accountable? Because if we're saying that we're ready for that level of the playing field, then hey, everybody, yo, clear the room. Or do we have other entities and anomalies telling us to drop our guard so that way we become lambs to the slaughter? Because we already see in certain spaces, certain groups of people say, guess what? Exactly, Councilor Murray. What's next after defunding the police? Because once you start playing that game of cinematics, and you know, I mean, you got to understand that, yo, you got to be ready for the next toll. So he must be telling me a lot of y'all must be going to the gun store and starting to practice downrange. Are we setting up police shifts? Are we starting to do censuses and going around? Because if y'all about that smoke, then hey, let me know. I'm signing up, baby. I'm asking these fair questions. I want to be where if you mess up, you mistake, I can hold you accountable and nail your ass to the cross. Huh? So we got to ask ourselves, because I mean, if that's the case, are y'all going to be holding men and women accountable for their actions? We already see some dudes run around talking about financial abortion. Good luck with that. So are you going to make those dudes that are making babies, are you going to hold them accountable? Are you going to hold those women accountable that are going out there living vicariously, passing around STD? Oh, there's a lot of stuff that's going to open up when we go down this road. See, I'm definitely about that work, baby. I don't want just no talkers. I want doers. I want people that are willing to actually sit in the goddamn ditch with me, go through the mud. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to sit down and talk with y'all because, see, we at this point now. We at a boil. And I know a lot of people say, well, we're going to go back to the way it was. Go back where? You can't bring back those lives. You can't reestablish those jobs, them properties. You can't go back. You got people marching around doing their own thing. Yo, they all about the smoke, man. You can't turn back the clock of anarchy. It's pick your master and how you're going to go about it. Everybody said, well, after this election, then what? What's after this election? I say, yo, even after the election, don't think people are going to drop their guard. Oh no, baby. See, you would like to go back to sleep. You would like for it to end. You would like for the nightmare to stop, but it don't stop. Once Freddie get into your dreams, he's here to stay. I can tell you right now. So are you willing to say we're gonna start lining up people that look like you, think like you, and for you? Are we gonna start lining them up to start petitioning to protect us? I mean, if we are, then, hey, I'm all for it, baby. Let's start cutting the tax and start putting it into us. I'm not going to stop. Listen, bro, whatever the game plan is, let me know. Hire me. Set me up with a goddamn healthcare plan, and literally let's set up some goddamn unions and you know what? Let's get it popping. I'm all in for that. We're going to get abusers and rapists and all that stuff. We're going to be running them out. Or we going with Biden? So you got to ask yourself, what's honestly the propagated plan? Because see, you're gonna hear the blame game, but you ain't gonna hear the policy game. That's one thing that kind of irritates me. Show me. I will. I just want to sit down with any group that has a policy. If you got a policy or just keep it plan, please send it to the papers. We all know Dr. Claude Anderson, and he's about to pass away. I'm pretty sure certain militia groups they're already done forming up and functioning. You got a lot of stuff starting to boil ahead. So who do you trust? Who do you honestly want to put your life in the hands of? The nation, men and women, civilians, the people that work at the school. You got to start knowing. We got to start choosing somebody that's willing to step up and speak for you and for me. Better yet, just speak for yourself. You got those people up there with the floodlights. They're not police. You got people down there walking around. So who's about that smoke? Who's about that chaos and that anarchy? Let me go ahead and open it up because, like I said, I want to sit down with you all. I do. I want to break bread with y'all. And I want to honestly know what's the end game? What are y'all talking about now? Do y'all feel truly patriotic to y'all people? Or do y'all want a certain groups or factions or, certain types of, but don't think that certain groups and factions don't have their issues and their in-house fighting. Or it's about to be one hell of a time with Mad Max. It's about to be the Thunderdome. And I got to ask you, are you willing to defend men, women, and children that are not of your blood? Because, we can get rid of these institutions. That's true, and that's fair, and that's fine. I won't take that from you. But after that, when you're talking about getting rid of and abolishing and getting rid of these certain types of unionized groups, what then? You know what I'm saying? And I just went over, like, how do you handle these types of things? So I'm joined here by a good brother of mine. Let me go ahead and pull him up. The one, the only.
What's up, bro?
Not too much, man. Like I said, we here having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Hey, you asking good questions, and I just want to clear something up because it's a lot. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just want to clear something up real quick. There's a lot of ignorance about defunding the police. Defunding the police does not mean you get rid of the police. Okay, defunding the police, they still get their paychecks. It takes a lot of the extra money out of the police. There's different types of funding for police officers or for the police station, which gives them the ability to do certain things. So, for instance, you have a rash of murders, right? Like take the Chicago, for instance, and they say they can't find the killer just because they don't have the resources to do all of these investigations. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the manpower or the resources to fan out the additional resources. We already have a pot of money we pay our officers with. I brung up in the chat room, and I'm not even going to argue with nobody about this because there's a lot of dudes out here who just like to troll. Okay, I brung up the fact that Trenton, New Jersey was defunded and rebuilt because throughout the 90s there was a lot of police brutality, a lot of this is all stemming from policy. This is all stemming from the war on drugs, which was a failure, and that militarized the police, and a lot of things started happening that shouldn't have been happening. And right now, what we're really having is a constitutional crisis in our country, because when you look at the Breonna Taylor situation, the no-knock warrants, those are unconstitutional. Just no one has ran it up the tree yet to get it, to get it debunked. That's why in every state, they don't have it in every state. Some states have them, some states don't. But no-knock warrants are unconstitutional. How I know? Because the white boys are saying so. The libertarians in the Republican Party, some of those on the left who want freedom, they're trying to push back against no warrants. And they've been successful in places like New Hampshire and other places where it's predominantly white people. Ain't got no black people. This ain't got nothing to do with race. We're just talking about that law specifically. Now, that's a problem in itself. That the fact that black people are sitting here talking about, well, if he didn't shoot at the cops, well, first of all, that state also has a castle doctrine. So
Right.
the state has a conflict with itself. All right, that needs to be worked out. The fact that you have people who are okay with anybody entering your house unannounced, and just because it's a police officer, I don't know it's a police officer. If it's 2 fucking o'clock in the morning, you don't know that. You have a right to defend your home. The same people who are sitting here defending this shit defend the fucking Second Amendment right, and your right to defend your home. So when somebody does it, then they're wrong only when it's a cop. That's crazy. That's insanity. That's an impossible decision that can be made in any given time. You always talk about a split-second decision the cops got to make. You in your own home. He did the right thing. He defended his home. The same thing happened in Richmond where a brother shot a cop who came in through his back window unannounced, and they tried to charge the brother. But he got off because the judge did the right thing. He had a good judge that did the right thing based on the law of and the statutes of the state of Virginia. And that brother got his charge dismissed, even though he spent like 30-something days in jail with no restitution. But this is the conflict we have right now. So after you defund the police, there's a rebuild that goes. This is about policy. This is about governing yourself. The problem why you guys ask these questions, I'm answering the brother question right there, Councilor Murray. The reason why we have these issues, Councilor Murray, is because black men are not organized politically.
Let me go ahead and read that. Shout out to Councilor Murray. He said, when did the defunding happen? I haven't been there in 10 years, but I still have people out there and haven't heard different, bro.
Bro,
go ahead, bro.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about the defunding of the police. We're talking about apples and oranges. When cats sit here and talk about defunding the police, it's going to be Mad Max. That's coward talk. I ain't got no time for that. That's ignorant talk. Defunding the police doesn't mean you get rid of the police department. All right? I just laid out what happens. The police will still get their paychecks and they still go out there and patrol. It's just drawing back the ability to go out and do certain things like serve no-knock warrants. That takes money. That takes time. That's overtime. There's other assets that got to be put in place to make these operations go in place. You know, so you defund the police, you can't do certain things. You go back to regular policing. You don't have all this extracurricular activity from the police officers. All right. If I'm talking crazy, then why are they even making money off of fucking traffic tickets? They have to keep making money all the time to keep funding themselves. So when you defund the police, there's less activity from the police, which means less police contact. That's all that means. And then you go into a restructure, but the restructure cannot happen or sustain itself if you don't have a political apparatus to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So it doesn't matter if you have a police department or not. If you put a new police department in there and you're still not governing them and they're still being governed by corporate white racists, you're going to still have the same fucking problems. So there's another step that comes after that. That's what happens after that, brother. You get politically active. You govern yourself. It don't just stop with one vote. The problem is that a lot of men, and no disrespect to the brother on the screen, I got to say this, a lot of us have put on a matriarchal mindset. I thought conservatives were about self-governing. That's one of the major tenets for conservatism. Small government, self-governance. But every time we talk about the police, oh no, man, I don't want that. I want white daddy to fucking police me. And that's the problem. You got another group of people policing you. And we've been going through this shit for 400 fucking years. What evidence did you have that they're going to police you correctly? What evidence do you have that they're going to treat you correctly? What evidence do you have they're going to treat you fairly? And given the fact that, let me back up a little bit. The fact that you have police officers willing to go in your home without notice, without announcing themselves, tells you there's a problem in the police department, that they don't adhere to the Constitution. They don't give a fuck about the Constitution. These things need to be ran up the pole. That's why on the right, they are packing the courts with Federalist judges to back up this bullshit. They want an authoritarian society. That's what they want on that side. And the reason why they're okay with it, because as long as I'm white, I don't have to worry about certain things happening to me. Because I'm telling you right now, the shit that happens to us, white people would not stand for it. And you shouldn't either, American. Y'all want to talk about your citizenship and your rights and your American privilege. When it comes to you having rights as a citizen and your constitutional rights, you fucking fade, especially at the hands of a white person. All you want to talk about is what black people do to each other. Black people go to jail for fucking each other up. All right? I'm not sitting here co-signing what happens between black people, but they go to jail for fucking each other up. That's the difference. So it's a straw man argument. At the end of the day, our problem stems from the fact that we don't govern ourselves. Period. We live in these pockets as black people, and we're being governed by other people. We got black pockets of black people, and the councilmen, even if they're black, they don't work for the people. They work for other groups of people because their campaigns are funded by other people. This all comes down to organization and money. So after you defund the police, you reorganize your community. And you hold those police accountable based on the policies you draft in your community, which means you tell your police how you're going to police your people. That's how that works. And if the state gets in the way, then you take it to the state level. It's all politics. But cats don't want to do the hard work of that. They want to sit back and complain about people complaining. What are you doing in your community to govern yourself? What money do you put? What initiatives do you put money behind? Who do you back? Are you even involved in the political game? This is politics, baby. Everything you're seeing on the screen is politics. All of it. What Daniel Cameron did was politics. This is a political season. They're not going to hang those white boys out to dry in Kentucky when Mitch McConnell was fighting for his life. Don't you get it? That's a safe state for Trump. But there's other things going on that you don't know nothing about. And the fact that you don't understand that Daniel Cameron is married to now the granddaughter of Mitch McConnell. This is politics. Good old-fashioned American corrupt politics. It's a goddamn shame that as black Americans that we can't sit here and say, you know what? That's fucked up. That an innocent person died for no fucking reason at all. No reason at all. And everybody want to keep talking about the men she dated. The guy that shot at the police was a lawful abiding citizen. You can't own a gun as a black person in Kentucky unless you are. He never had a police record. Her ex-boyfriend was the one with the record. And he was already in police custody. So the police fucked up from the beginning. You're basically saying somebody died and it's their fault they died. What kind of America are you talking about? Where's the fucking Constitution now? Where's the redress? I'm so sick of niggas running around here talking about hood conservative, I'm conservative this and conservative that. Let's go to conservative values. You can't tell me about politics. I do this, son. I go to work with white conservatives all day, and I hear the bullshit all day. So now I'm going to use their talking points against you. They don't take this shit in white society. The main killers are cops in white society or white men. That's why the cops back down. Because they know they're about that life, but they know you not. They know there's a bunch of niggas going to come out here and make excuses for us getting killed. There was a niggas back in 1920 making excuses for niggas getting hung. Well, yeah, maybe make sure we don't do this now. Make sure you don't go over there now. You know you shouldn't be messing around on that creek now. That creek don't belong. Now you know that belong now to Mr. Johnson. Just any little thing you got in trouble for, niggas is always making excuses for it. Somebody's dead, fam, and they got family. And because it wasn't yours, you gonna make excuses for it? That's sad, man. I don't wish bad on nobody, but I hope to God this shit don't happen in your fucking family. And if it does, I don't want to fucking hear it. I want you to say the same goddamn thing you come out to YouTube to say when some of your real blood gets killed. Because that's what's really happening right now. I care about the black community. I understand what the fuck happened to us. So-called thinking black men don't even look at the history to see how we ended up where we are. They just talk about where we are and what's going to happen next. Like you on the sideline. No, you in this shit, fam. And if you ain't fucking getting busy in it, then you dead weight. You're no different than Pookie and Ray Ray. None. And that's real talk. There's no fucking reason in the world we should be tolerating people running up in your house unannounced. The state don't get to do that, fam. They fought a revolutionary war against that. And every time I turn on fucking right-wing radio, they keep talking about oppression and big government. There's no bigger government than that. The state running up in your goddamn house. This shit is unconstitutional. It shouldn't be happening, period. Period. For what, drug possession? You fucking kidding me? That's bullshit. So you have this is what's happening, brothers. Y'all need to understand what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna shut up on this. They're using discretion. You have 2 laws in the same state. The same problem happened in Virginia, and now they're cleaning up in Virginia. But they're not cleaning up in Kentucky. You have a castle doctrine, and you have no-knock warrants. The white boys cleaned up in New Hampshire, and then the centrists are cleaning up in Virginia. What's going to happen in Kentucky? Nothing. You have 2 competing laws. How you gonna tell me I got the right to defend my castle at the same time only if it's a police officer, then I can't do it? That makes no fucking sense. It's 2 o'clock in the goddamn morning. We're not using fucking common sense now. We're gonna keep blaming the victim. Conservative in the chat room talking about it's his fault she's dead. That's crazy talk.
The thing about it is this, and you know what I'm saying, and like I said, it is an open discussion, yo. I'm telling y'all right now, like, my channel is one of by far the most neutral talking point channel. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not, like I said, I am a conservative. Yeah. But I'm not gonna drop that I am also a black man.
Well, DMT, that's why I try to take color out of it. Because there's instances in Georgia. I know. There was an instance in Georgia of no-knock warrants, right, against white people.
I try to leave race out of it too.
That's what I'll tell you. I try to go a different direction. You know, we had the opioid crisis, right, and you had the meth labs. So the government was doing the same thing to white people, and guess what white people did? They pushed back against no-knock warrants. They understand it's a drug problem, but you can't run up in people's houses. Why? Because they were making a mistake in running the wrong houses.
Right. Let me read this super chat. Shout out to Counselor Murray. And Counselor Murray, you're always welcome to come up and we can have a discussion. We're all men. We are men. And we can have discussion and we can agree and disagree and be respectful men. Counselor Murray says,
how the fuck she bring? Hold up, man. I'm sorry. Read the question. I'm sorry. My bad.
Okay. I'm not saying someone should be killed by a shark, but if they're swimming in a shark tank, well, bro, her decision brought that on herself.
What decisions did she make? Go to sleep? She didn't make no decisions, brother. It makes no sense what you're saying. If that's the case, if that's your point, my brother Murray, that's still my brother, even though he's crazy as cat shit. You still my brother. If that's the case, then you need to leave America, fam. Because America's a shark tank. It can happen to you anywhere, fam. It can happen to your cousin anywhere, fam. You gonna say what he shouldn't have went to that store that day? What, Trayvon shouldn't went and got some refreshments from the store? He made a decision to step out his house. How fucking silly you want to get with this shit? This is coward talk. And you know what? I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I understand it. We've been socialized to be like this. We've been socialized to be like, you got white people out here flipping out over goddamn masks, but you won't even stand it for life.
You guys make sure y'all do me a favor, y'all. Like the video, share the content, like the video, share the content, or you can dislike the video. Let's go ahead and keep a buck 100. Like I said, I'm not doing that normal mano shit, whatever the hell y'all call it these days, talk. BMT and other content creators, we going in a different direction talking about some stuff that's actually going to affect our lives and stuff. Now, right now, you got it with different other groups and factions. They're fighting over pieces of the pie. Mm-hmm. You understand this? They fighting over what they want. We got to ask ourselves, okay, so we talking about, okay, we want the police to loosen up on the crazy shenanigans that they're doing. What I asked, y'all can go back and look at on the rewind. I said, I'm asking my people, are y'all willing to step up and fill in the gap? That to me is a fair.
And the answer is BMT. And the answer is BMT is no, because a lot of these brothers sitting here making excuses for like defunding the police. Why do you care? If somebody's saying they're going to defund an organization that you're not in, why do you care? The only reason you care is because you see them as your saviors, as your protectors. Why are you not protecting yourself? Why are you not governing yourself? I thought you was a conservative. I'm talking to the ones in the chat room right now.
Thank you, Kay Elise. Kay Elise said last year in Houston, 4 cops were shot by white people during a no-knock warrant. The law was changed after that. Thank you there. Thank you.
And it's happening all over the country. But guess what? White people ain't having it. But somebody's going to tell you in the chat room the brother's wrong for shooting at somebody breaking into their house. It makes no sense.
So the question so the thing that we need to ask ourselves is this: are we willing to step up and do the job that other people are doing? And because I ain't no man going to be telling my household how to move about. Mm-hmm. That's my job. I can't go to Jay Shine's house and try to tell him how he needs to carry about with him, his family, and he gonna be son. This is my house. So I'm asking, are you willing to step up? Because we know how some people feel about the different agencies and stuff. Are y'all saying that we willing to step up? Because you're saying that, hey, I don't want them in my damn business. Well, that would mean that you're gonna start stepping up and handling business. Now, Jay Sean, let me know if I'm wrong now. That would mean you're gonna step up to the plate. I'm gonna actually be my brother's keeper. If Jay Sean would have seen my sons out there getting some shit, I want him to go out there and say, yo, bring your asses over here. Until your father get home, y'all gonna be here. Y'all gonna be tightening up, cleaning up. Actually, you know, my yard needs cut. You gonna pay me? Nope. Y'all gonna cut this grass? Y'all gonna go and pull up them weeds? I'm gonna keep y'all busy. And then when your dad get here, we're gonna have to talk about what you do. See, that's literally him policing and checking my son.
Yeah.
I can't get mad at him and say, why'd you say it to my son? Because hold up, bro. I want one system out of my business. Now I'm incorporating another system. Are we saying that we about that smoke? Yes or no? Go ahead. I'll pass it right back to you, Jay Shine. And like I said, it is open. This is not just a men's talk. I want everybody can come up in this one.
What's crazy about BNT? Our people have been beat down so mentally, and this is a hard conversation to have. I know. It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell other black people, because when I talk to black women about some of their behavior, right, and how they've been socialized. I use the socialized now instead of programming, because that shit cuts too deep. But there's a programming going on here. There's no group of men on the planet who think the way some of us do. Now, I am sensitive to the history of it. I understand the conditioning and what's happened to us. So a lot of us are just not on the same page for a lot of different reasons, man. But this goes outside of, look, a meerkat understands self-defense. An elephant understands self-defense. Every little animal on the planet understands self-defense. But Negroes. So when a nigga says I'm being emotional, you goddamn right I'm being passionate and emotional about my life, because I know at the end of the day, I'm not in this shit by myself. Look, here's the thing, bro. If I get shot, when I get back to the States and I get shot, I'm not going to get shot because, I'm Jay. I'm getting shot because I'm a Negro. These people do not know me, man. That's why it's so egregious when they try to make them a criminal after the fact. You know what I mean? He used to smoke weed. He used to do this. He ran a stoplight when he was 10. I mean, all this stupid shit they bring up. To try to criminalize you after the fact, like the cops knew that when he went in or when they encountered this person. No, they encountered a black person, bro. And they look at you differently, and they're going to treat you differently, have been treating you differently, and going to continue to treat you differently unless you change something about that. Coming on YouTube and co-signing their fuckery is not going to change it for you. I want to ask y'all all a question. 9 people were shot in the church in South Carolina.
Right.
They apologized immediately. Did that change anything for you? Matter of fact, I'll do you one better. At the same time black people were apologizing, guess who was not apologizing? The families of the Boston bomber, from the Boston Marathon bombing. When they executed the fucking dude that did the bombing. That same time that shooting would happen, they just executed that motherfucker up in Massachusetts. You understand me? And they came on TV and saying he got what he deserved. While you down there apologizing. That's the difference in mindset. I yield the floor.
All right. Well, thank you for saying that, brother. If I may, I appreciate what you said, man. I was just talking about that when I came over here. I said that the problem that I have with BMT and all these brothers is they want Obama to come over there and cut their lawn. If what you're doing is only going to help you and help your lawn, then you ain't really helping the whole collective of black people. We think that because white people want to kill all of us, and have told all of us if we help them kill all of us, that we'll be spared, that all of us will be spared, that they're trying to kill, that we can help them kill black people and somehow it will spare us. It won't. The only answer to the people who want to kill us is to stop voting for them. Stop letting the people who killed Breonna Taylor decide whether or not they should be prosecuted. Obama appointed 62 black federal judges. I know you hate Obama. I know you didn't think he did anything for black people, but he appointed 62 black federal judges. He oversaw the election of 61 black federal prosecutors. They have a 98% conviction rate. They convicted Dylan Roof. They gave him the death penalty. They convicted the rape.
Dylan Roof doesn't have the death penalty.
It's not South Carolina. It's the federal government. They have the death penalty all day long. They execute.
He's actually he's in South Carolina. He doesn't have the death.
No. BMT. He was tried by the feds.
The United States of America.
But he don't got the death penalty. Did he have the death penalty now?
He didn't get the death penalty in North Carolina, but he got the death penalty in the federal government.
South Carolina. That was my
federal government. He got the death penalty. Show the goddamn link there, and these dumb niggas.
Go ahead.
Show the damn link to the stupid niggas. Dylan Roof, the death penalty. Right. Dylan Roof sentenced to death. You fucking idiot. All right. Didn't get the death. No, he didn't get the death killing in North Carolina. That's the point I'm trying to make. Stop letting the motherfuckers who do the killing prosecute the motherfucker. Don't riot. Don't loot. Federally prosecute.
Now, RBR, I'm gonna let you know right now. RBR, I'm gonna let you know right now.
Now, goddamn it, prosecute these in the federal using these black judges.
RBR, listen, RBR, I'm gonna be for real with you. I don't ever come to your panel and disrespect you. Don't do that on my panel. You understand me? Don't do that on my panel. I don't go to nobody's panel and kick on their couch. Don't do that on my panel, all right? You can come up here respectful. You know what I'm saying? I'm letting Jay Shine rock, and he got his words for conservatives. You hear me coming at him? Don't do it. Don't do it over here, man. Don't curse at me. You're a man, and I'm a man. We can be respectful. Black men don't have to disrespect each other. So let's start there, okay? Go ahead and rock. Go ahead and rock. You can go ahead and speak. Just don't be disrespectful.
All right, let me just say this real quick. I do like the analogy that RBR did bring up earlier, though, about the grass being cut.
There it is.
Because you can have. Let me finish saying this real quick, RBR. You can have manicured lawn all day, but if you live in a community, full of weeds, you know what I'm saying? It's going to still affect your lawn. You see what I'm saying? There's no escaping this as black men. We're going to have to deal with this issue when some generation's going to have to deal with this shit sooner or later. All right? There's just no way around it. There's no fucking way around it. These people are not playing with it. There's 1,000 armed white militias in the country right now. All right? 1,000 white armed militias in the country right now. Who you think they targeting? I got a video I just watched of 4 brothers on the motorcycles. One of them was a federal agent, and they getting a gun pulled on them, an AR-15 pulled on by a white guy. All right. And one of the black guys like, yo, you definitely gonna go to jail for shooting me. I'm a federal agent. But they don't care. They don't care, dog. This is the environment that you're in. And you keep playing with it. You got 17-year-old boys running around here with AR-15 shooting people. Because this is their mindset. And our mindset is to go ahead and co-sign the killing of an innocent person in their fucking naked in their home.
Yes, he's like just well, BNT.
What, am I going in and out, or is that RBR going in and out?
That's him.
Okay. Yeah, me thinking I'm going in and out.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well,
RBR, we can't hear nothing you saying. You going in and out, boss.
BMT is like Jesse Lee Peterson, who told Tariq Nasheed, if you can, that if we join the Klan, I was trying to share, so it wouldn't allow me. But BMT believes, like Jesse Lee Peterson, that if we join the Klan, if we can't beat them, and we join the Klan and the Nazis, that'll somehow benefit black people as a whole. And it won't. The only answer is to prosecute these motherfuckers in the federal courts with the 62 black judges Obama appointed and the 61 black federal.
What does it have to do with Obama right now? What do we got to do with Obama?
Well, because we can't let the racists who killed Breonna.
No, we're not talking about Obama. We're in 2020 right now.
Wait a minute. We're talking about a race of people who have decided.
No. We're not talking about We're not talking about a specific race. We're talking about this.
We're not talking about.
All right, so there you go. I told you that.
I was gonna let y'all have it, man. It seemed like y'all want to get
it. It wasn't gonna be no having it because
Okay.
Here's the problem. We got detractors out there. You know what I'm saying? And so right now, like I said, Dylan Roof is going for schizophrenia right now.
Mm-hmm.
See how he's playing the game?
Yeah.
He's going for mentally schizophrenia. Now I gotta be real. I don't see that's like the DC sniper trying to say he has sexual been. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get that kind of mental health diagnosed for doing it. I just never seen a black young boy get that kind of diagnosis or the bombers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he so I'll give him that. Hey, he got a federal, but South Carolina does not have.
Yeah, South Carolina doesn't. Yeah, but he got sentenced to death by the feds. Because here's the problem with South Carolina. Remember, our brother
Right.
Walter Scott got shot in the back, and that cop, I forgot his name, they shot him in the back, and they moved the taser to, you know what I mean, and try to set up a scene and gave a false, police report and all that shit, and they got caught on film and he didn't know it. He had 2 hung juries, man. This is what we're dealing with. So the feds had to come in and get him for violating their brother's civil rights. He only got 20 years. All right. Because they couldn't really get him on anything else. Because to get him on murder is premeditated murder. Dylan Roof was easy. That was premeditated murder. You know what I mean? But to get, I can't remember the goddamn cop's name that shot Walter Scott in the back. They couldn't get him on premeditated murder, so they got him on manslaughter and some other shit, and basically violating his civil rights, and they got him for 20 years. The feds had to come in and prosecute that case in South Carolina. That's what we're dealing with in South Carolina. And that's what I mean by being out of power, not having agency over yourself, because you don't get to adjudicate yourself, you don't get to try yourself, you don't get to pick the juries, you don't get to do none of that shit. Ogle Stevenson, out in Kentucky, speaking of that brother who cut that brother loose for shooting at the cop, speaking of a black judge, he got in trouble with the state. They tried to get him off the bench because he actually followed the law. This prosecutor tried to stack a all-white jury against his brother for a minor, crime, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not letting this happen. Y'all need to give me a new jury." And he dismissed the jury. And they went at him, removed him from the bench. He had to go through some adjudication, all this other bullshit. You know what I mean? But this is what people do when they have power. You understand? So this is what all comes down to. We can talk about consciousness, we can talk about morality, we can talk about right and wrong, we can talk all that shit all you want. At the end of the day, it comes down to fucking power. All right? It comes down to power. If you're not organized as black men, you're not gonna have any power. Dudes that operate out of the left and right brain mindset, they're doomed to lose. All right, you're doomed to lose. And BMT, you my brother, so it's hard for me to really go at you on this conservative thing. I really don't want to go at you because
No,
you're my man.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, Jay, listen, man.
All right, I'll tell you what. I go a different route with it. I go a different route with it, BMT.
No, listen, Jay Sean. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm gonna speak this from my heart. Yeah, that the conservative blacks are definitely out of order. So what you're saying, I don't want you to pull any punches. If we had a sparring boxing match, listen, I would respect you more if you know what I'm saying, you gave me the jab to wake me up. Okay. Because let's be honest, we had it where doggone they've been using the most interesting people to speak. We had a dude named Kingface. I was one of the few conservatives. You can check it up on my list that did a story about him passing around HIV. He passed around HIV to black women. So, you conservatives jumped on me. Don't talk about that. You don't know that. That's allegation. Hold up, bro. No. We're gonna talk about this. Because there's a lot of them they want to talk about. I talked about it. I don't play this conservative black shit. I'm not gonna talk about it shit. Now, fuck that. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And see, I don't turn a blind eye. I didn't turn a blind eye to Ahmaud Arbery. I spoke about that. Even when the manosphere niggas didn't give a fuck to talk about it, I talked about it. But I'm a black man. So I spoke about it. Right. I'm the one that talked about Breonna Taylor. I wouldn't call her no trap queen. But I talked about the case, non-biased. So we got to understand, we listen, man. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So if you got your piece, go ahead and say we got here by ease. What's going on, man? Like there's a lot of questionable stuff going on, and I gotta be for real, man. Black people, y'all are the biggest buck dancing people for politics.
Yeah.
And I
Yes,
got so
like I said, I was on Arts Channel last week when I said, basically, we political children. We don't think strategically and correctly about this, but it also stems from the lack of us one agency. Now, I must fall back for a second. I'll come back. I want to talk about conservatism from a historical standpoint, which is going to take a little longer than what my man just dropped on here. He just jumped up here. He has something to say because he said something in the chat room about that was his cousin's family. So, Easy W, I want to hear what you got to say about that situation, man, because you got more details on that, man. I want to know because if you're close to it, enlighten us.
What's going on, Ease? I know me and you have been talking. We were even talking in on the commented page about the shooting and how we thought that was a little bit iffy. But go ahead, brother. Let's get to it, man. What's up, man?
All right, what's going on? Can you hear me good?
We can hear you good, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know what comment or whatever he was referring to about.
No, we were talking about when Kenneth was shooting back with the police, but somehow.
I'm sorry, I got you mixed up with somebody else. That's Lightbearer. My bad.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah, I know what you're talking about as far as with Kenneth and stuff like that. Like, I just wanted to give like a little small pushback though. I know the conversation kind of progressed a little more, but it was something that Jay Sean said as far as like the 17-year-old white guys running around with ARs and the white guys pulling up on black guys and stuff like that, federal officers, whatever. But I mean, I felt like he kind of pushed the context of white people got this stuff going on and they riding as hard as they can for whatever the cause may be, whether they feel like they're doing justice, whatever they believe in, whatever they feel like they're doing justice and stuff. But the thing is and he asked, I don't want to misquote you, but I think you asked something along the lines, where's our people that do that. But I mean, when you really look at it, I was just saying, I didn't ask that. I said that's a difference in mindset. You know what I mean? That we have versus that group. That's what I'm saying. First, group versus group. Oh, gotcha. But go ahead. Well, see, yeah, gotcha. Cool. So the thing is that we do got, just like the stream BMT did about Lil Yummy. I mean, we do got shooters and stuff like that. It's just what is the direction that the shooters we have? What are their goals as far as like BMT saying, hey, we're gonna defund the police, who's gonna step up? And it's gonna be really hard for people to want to step up when. But that's not what's gonna happen, like, EZW. When you defund the police, you're basically resetting the police department. And what happens is police departments operate on policies. Kind of like, remember stop and frisk in New York, and then you had the police unions pushing back against getting rid of it. The reason why, because that's money in their pocket. You see what I'm saying? So the policies turn into money. Remember that politics is all about money. So when people out here, like I'll give you an example. You might like this. When people out here protesting, that's just overtime for the police. You see what I'm saying? That's just overtime for the police, and then they get to justify why they need more funding. So now when they get the extra funding, they get to do more things. They get to be more active. They create more police contact. And that's what happened through the war on drugs. All right. We increased our war. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example of how insane this shit is. In New York City, they spend over $102 billion a year. No, was it 102 billion or 40 billion? Some crazy number on police. If they spent a fraction of that money that they spend on police, they can fix 90% of the issues in the black community in New York. Black people in New York are 25% of the population. I gotta get back and get that number correct. Because I know it was a crazy amount of money versus how much money they give to like low cost housing and poor people issues like homeless and shit like that. It was minuscule. It was like a couple of billion, and then you had this crazy number of billions of dollars they give to the police department. Meanwhile, they're defunding school programs. Meanwhile, they're sucking resources out of the black communities in New York City. So this is all about money. They want to pay for their dominance, even overpay for their dominance. And it's always been like that in America. White supremacy has cost America trillions of dollars. They could have spent half that or a third of that money and fixed all the problems in America. Just look at the presidential campaign, $1 billion campaign. But they won't touch Baltimore to fix a road. They won't touch and fix a building in Detroit. See, this is all about what people want. This is about will. And their will be done. Those in power, thy will be done. That's all this is about. So when you see us having all this police contact, it's because the policies mandated.
Policies mandate the police contact. Then it's like a self-serving, self-sustaining cycle. All right, because now I'm gonna go out here. The policies mandate our contact, have more contact with this community. Then this community, falls more and more into disarray. Then we need more equipment. We need more police. Then we need more policies to back up the police. And you keep going and you keep going and you keep going until you have this mess that we have now. That's why defunding the police is the first step. After that, you got to come back behind it with policies on how that police department is going to function. All right. And that's going to be mandated and dictated by the community. The problem with black people is that we are not organized or politically functional at all. We just go with the flow. Majority of women just go with the Democratic Party. So do most of the men. Most of us don't. A lot of us don't vote. And now you got a good chunk of men just going with Trump, but not demanding anything, not controlling anything.
Now, Jason, I got to ask a question. And I was going to do a show about this, but I'm still going to do it. That's going to be a really hot banger. So I know y'all going to come in for that one too.
Yeah.
Why is it that the women are more so going up and getting their policies, or now I won't say just their policies, but more so policies
that's easy
for them? Mm-hmm. But I'm hearing a lot of the black men feel like, well, we're being left out. Shouldn't the men be going up there and saying, yo, we got some stuff banging on our chest too?
Yeah. That's easy.
I'm asking fair questions, man.
Women are nesters, man. That's what women are supposed to do. And you know what I mean? And they've defanged their men. They've thrown a lot of policies on the left to feminize the men. The Democratic parties have broken apart our families. On the other side, you have hardcore white supremacy. So even if it exists over there, you have to be a coon. You know what I mean? So where's your manhood? And that's what we were fighting for in the 60s. That's why we had so many different factions and so many different directions. I mean, we had a lot of mess right here on YouTube, but it was crazy in the 60s too. Imagine if we had YouTube in the 60s. You see what I'm saying? You had all these different ways of trying to establish agency in black manhood. You had the Black Panther Party, you had Mark, you had SNCC, you had SLC, you had different moves, you had the Nation of Islam, you had all these different factions. You know what I mean? You even had Christians throwing their hat in the ring, Deacons of Defense. You know what I'm saying? We just all these different factions, man, of different ways of going about being a man. And that's really what this comes down to, a lack of political power and agency. Women are going to nest in any society. If you don't believe me, ask the French. When the Germans took over France, what did the women do? Start laying with the Frenchmen. When the French got kicked out, what did the men do? They started stoning those women who laid up with the French. You see what I'm saying? With the Germans. So that's just what women do. Women are natural survivors. All right. So yeah, should they be doing certain things? No. But at the same time, it makes sense. They're still women. Even though they're black women, they're still women. Women are going to do what they got to do to survive. So if you got over here, you got housing, jobs, et cetera, et cetera. What are you offering? But hard dick. And that's the problem. That's why I want brother. I don't even talk to black women. I talk to black men about getting to the purple, empowering yourself, starting to work with each other, create a code of conduct. That code of conduct also extends down to dating. About what we're going to accept from our women. What's wife material? That's a code of conduct we establish, and we don't have to discuss it with her. So that's where I'm coming from. The answer to our issues is power and agency. And you're going to have to take that shit. You have an unrational enemy over there. These people over there are running up in goddamn state houses over mash, nigga. There's no rational conversation to have with that. You're gonna have to take piece by piece, brick by brick, take what's yours, and create a new environment for your people. Ultimately, to keep them safe, because at the end of the day, what's the point? I go out here, make a bunch of money, and then my fucking kid gets murdered, or my nephew gets murdered, and I can't do nothing about it. So what's the point? Yeah, I'm gonna go over here and vote for Trump, so I'm gonna get low taxes and all that, and you making more money. Then what? So, that's the question I have for a lot of these brothers out here. Then what? All these scatterbrain mentalities and all these different fucking, point of views, man. At the end of the day, what does it come down to? If you don't have no agency, no power over yourself, you're done. And other groups are going to do what they're going to do. You got immigrant groups coming to the country showing you no respect. When a man, I'm telling you right now, look, black women have no fucking business in these Asian shops. But I'm going to say this about this, though, to the men. Just so your antenna goes up. When they beat the fuck out of your women like that, they're showing you they have no respect for you neither. They don't fear your community. They don't fear your community. They would never put a hand on a fucking blonde woman or a white woman. She can go in there and trash a goddamn nail shop. They're going to be patient. Hold on. They're going to be in there, cop to play with her. So until you start going, you know what I mean? But I would say this though, the easiest answer to the problem is that black women shouldn't be going in there, period. They shouldn't be. That's on her. But I'm just saying, I can't ignore the fact that these people don't have respect for us though, on a larger scale. They just don't have respect for us in general. Okay? They just don't. They would never touch your woman or your children if they feared you. They would come into your country, hardly speak the language, and whoop ass. They don't fear you. It broke my heart to see a young boy getting beat up by an Asian dude in Brooklyn. That shit broke my heart. And niggas standing around. So there's something in us too, man. That's part of the problem. And we got to fix that shit because there's nothing that we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about what these people do unless we organize. Unless we say enough. And that don't mean you have to be a Muslim. That don't mean you have to be a Christian. That doesn't mean you have to be conservative leaning. That doesn't mean you have to be liberal leaning. It doesn't mean none of that shit. It's all about survival first. It's all about self-protection first. How you don't want to? I don't understand how we even get to the point where we even argue about things like this. Fernando Castile killed for doing nothing. Crawford, the brother that got killed in the Walmart, for doing nothing. Trayvon's dead for nothing. Walter Scott ran out of his car. Old motherfucker. No threat. This is explicit. This shows a mentality. You got the text messages. We show what happened in the Boston John case. And what bothered me the most about that case wasn't what she did. It was about what they were talking about when they broke out all the text messages and the messages between the police. They're literally at a black parade talking crazy about us. This is how they feel about you, and you want them to police you.
Now, question. I want to ask: do we respect men and women that wear the badge? We're talking about we want to build some type of line, and I'm asking y'all. I'm asking, because KS puts out there, respect black men and women in blue. Do we respect those who are trying to clean up our community? Like, are they getting the respect? Like, why are we pushing this?
I think we used to. We used to, and back in the 70s and even in part of the 80s, we used to. You know what I mean? But we got a lot of brothers out there who, you know, and a handful of sisters who stand by and watch or participate in this shit too. We need to see solidarity. That's no different than the Italian community. If you had an Italian cop and he's out here siding with say the Irish community over and beating up an Italian boy, then no, the Italian community is gonna have a problem with the police in general and with the Italian cop. That's just natural. There has to be a give and take. There has to be a back and forth. I'm not gonna just give you respect to be given. At the end of the day, BMT, remember, the police serve us. They're civil servants. Right. They're supposed to be doing the job. So if they give respect, they get respect. Matter of fact, in Brooklyn, there was a white cop when we came up. We couldn't stand the cops. There was one white cop that we fucked with. Because he showed us respect and he looked out for niggas, man. He looked out for us. He know what's petty shit. Like, what you got on you? Give me that. Drop that and run. Get out of here. He wasn't trying to put you in jail. He wasn't trying to ruin your life. And we knew who he was on a first name basis, man. So we got hood kids who knew who he was. And we would protect him. If we saw somebody jumping him, like, yo, get off, officer. So, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? We would protect. That's natural. That's what happens when we know who you are. But when motherfuckers is coming with police on their back, no badge, with mask on their face, and knocking down doors, that's Gestapo shit. Slapping you up, telling you get down, I'm gonna kill you. They talk to people crazy. Where's the professionalism? Now, calling you motherfuckers and all kind of. The police are out of control in America. You know how I know? Because I'm in a different country right now, and I've been all over the world. I know what I'm looking at. And they don't talk to white people like that for the most part. They whipping niggas' asses for not wearing masks in New York and then going to Central Park and handing out masks to white people. It's in your face. It's blatant. It is what it is. And niggas gonna come in here and tell you that's okay. That's a coward who don't want the same citizenship. Because the truth of the matter is they're not treating the white people above any like better than they should be treated. They're treating the white people like citizens. They're not treating you like a citizen. And I just want to challenge all my brothers on the right or anybody who got something to say about what I'm saying. What about your rights? What about your citizenship? The country was built on your back. You're more American than anybody that's in the country right now.
So the thing about saying that is that in looking at it, because we're gonna have to start getting back into propagated positions of equated building up our own power, and actually enforcing what we want to see of our imagery. I feel like if there was more of a push for our imagery, then we'll probably actually more so give a damn. Because see, here's something I want to say. You know, and before I pass it on, we also joined back with Ease, and also we got Lightbearer. So one of the biggest things I want to say, I got a question that you care for something when you pay for something more.
Correct.
See,
there you go. There you go.
Exactly.
There you
it's
go.
coming out. It's coming out of your pocket. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna tap something that you done. You coming out your own pocket for.
It's called investment. Yeah.
Right. So I would be curious if we started redistributing the equated funds to say, okay, guys, let's start. Okay, I'm gonna pay for the J Shine security force. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm paying for in-house security to watch and take care of that. You know, is that too much out of the way? But I'm gonna tell you right now, you got some self-developed other communities, they have that.
Yeah,
they got that. Y'all think I'm saying crazy stuff, but
yeah, I want to let the people on the panel rock. I just want to say this real quick, BMT. We used to have that. You know what I mean? Before integration really took toll, we had black teachers. We had mostly black firemen. This is stuff you can look up on YouTube right now. You can look at Black America in black and white or in shoddy color right now and what it used to look like in the 60s and 70s. All right. But now those inner city schools, all of a sudden the faculty just got whiter and whiter and whiter, and they put all these black teachers out of work. And then they made sure they didn't produce anymore neither. All right. And those kids coming out of those black schools in segregation were awesome. They were poets, scientists. They were pushing the limits. They were always getting in trouble because they were always running against discrimination. Why? Because they were trying to be where they wasn't supposed to be. You understand me?
Right.
And that's the effect of, you know, of having a culture that once respects itself and two has a purpose going forward, that wants more for itself. We used to have our own firemen, and the fact that we had this shit happen in I think it was, I'm trying to remember what city it is. I have so much shit in my head, but there was a city up in the Northeast where they had that issue with the test for to become a fireman, and they were saying they was racially biased. You know what I mean? You have black men who are pushing for certain things, but it's always going to be a pushback, and that's just the way it's going to be. It's going to be that way. It's not going to stop. Even when we get on top, you're going to have to stay on top. You know what I'm saying? There's no way around it. We got this mindset that you push a button or you do one thing, you go to one march, you make one vote, and that really fixes itself. No, this is a lifestyle. This is about survival, and that's how the world operates. And we were taught not to be that way. We were taught to be on a plantation. And a lot of us still have a plantation mindset, 100%. Some of us have 50%. Some of us just have a 10%. But that 10% can come out at the wrong fucking time, especially if you're in a position of authority or position of power. If you work in the city hall or something like that, that 10% can harm us. We need to be 100% about divorce from this plantation mindset. Like, we deserve to be 30% of the Congress. We deserve to be 30% of the Senate. Why we don't have a President Leroy yet? You see what I'm saying? That's the kind of mentality we should have. Barack Obama, okay, cool. But he still didn't come from us. He wasn't the descendant of slaves. You see what I'm saying? That's the mentality we should have. We should be proud and say, you know what? We want our slice of the pie. We're Americans too. This is our fucking country. We're gonna pull up to this table. We're gonna sharpen our elbows. We're gonna make room. You're gonna give us ours. But we have to do that shit politically. And it's not gonna be easy. People are gonna get hurt. People are going to die. It's going to take money. It's going to take sacrifice. But I'm going to tell you right now, we're doing it for our future. I'm doing it. The way I talk and the way I live is because I care about my grandchildren. And a lot of us don't. I'll leave it at that.
Well, we're joined here by Ease and Lightbearer. What's going on, everyone? Can y'all hear us? Can y'all hear us?
Yes.
Okay. And for those in the chat, please like the video, share the video. I mean, like I said, we're having a charged discussion about, you already know, so we defund the police or abolish the police. Do you really trust your community that much? And I feel like that's a fair question to ask, because you're talking about, when we're talking about defunding and literally having certain social programs pushed out for y'all that wasn't here, that would mean you're looking for a Jay Shine, a Light Bearer, or Eve to step up to the plate and handle that. You're asking for certain entities and certain groups and certain businesses. Hey, push on, step out. This is about us. This is about what we want. So let's talk about it.
Hey, BMT, Jay
What's going
Shine,
on, Mama?
Easy W. How y'all doing?
We're doing
Yeah,
good.
much
I'm sorry,
respect.
Library. You were the one that said something about cousins, right?
Yeah, that's my
Okay.
cousin's
Oh yeah,
cousin.
yeah.
Jay,
Enlighten us.
the one that got shot in his back was my cousin's cousin. That's her father's nephew. Yeah,
Okay.
their father's sister's son. Yeah, and yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. But one thing I really think we need to think differently and above these people. We need to get off of the level that they're on. They're on a destructional level. We need to get back to who we used to be, our truest state. We had martial arts. We need to push ourselves higher, to demand higher from ourselves. You see what I'm saying? And once we get off this level, because they brought us down to their level through slavery. You see what I'm saying? Their way of thinking, their way of doing things,
That carnal
because
mindset.
they were jealous of us, because we always had civilizations all over the place. So they fed us this damn Bible with lies. But the truth was, within the Bibles, that they went around stealing our way of worship, we didn't worship things, but they stole our way of existence because they saw that we were doing better. We had militaries, we had everything. That now this is what America, because they took us, we're the children of that, which means we are that. In America, we are the ones. So they took that and they brought us, like, we're down on a level now. We think we have to compete with them on that level. We don't even have to compete with them on this level. All we have to do, our men have to decide that they want better and they want to be better, seek out our old sciences and go within themselves and become greater warriors. Then they play it on these movies all the time. You always see the guy that's the black guy, but they play him as a white guy, knowing that it's you guys. And he's always having to, go out and defeat and go within himself to reckon. He has to find himself, who he was. You see what I'm saying? They got so much things out here they're throwing at our men. They lie about us, who we are, all these lies. And they project who they are upon our people. You know what I'm saying? So that's, I respect that you don't like to talk to women about these things, and I respect all our men, because I think that's the way it should be. Our solutions are going to get resolved with men talking with men and demanding more from ourselves.
You know what, Kay?
Higher standards.
Library, I gotta agree with you. For all intents and purposes, BMT, I shouldn't give a fuck. Personally, I'm good. But I understand that I do not have agency or power without a collective of black men. That's why I push for this so hard. Ultimately, my protection, the protection of my children, comes from the strength of the group. If the pack is weak, I'm weak. I can be as alpha wolf as I want to be. But if the pack is weak, I'm exposed. And that's just the way it goes, man. We've seen so many powerful black men get tore down because they were out there on that, well, I got the paper, I'm 100 millionaire, you know what I mean? And then they get taken down by the white system. They going at, what's his name right now? What's that brother who gave that money to Morehouse? I forgot his name, Robert Smith. They just indicted him. He ain't got no backup. That's why Byron Allen, when he went to have that discrimination lawsuit, he went back. He was smart enough to come back to the community, get some community or activization going on, because that's what you need. You need your community. You can't just show up one nigga. You can't. Everybody talk about OJ. Well, OJ did. No, OJ did not. OJ had a half-black jury. He had people outside the court. They knew if the shit wasn't done a certain way, there was going to be a problem in the city. So everything was done the way it was supposed to be done. Judge didn't do no bullshit. Everybody had to be on their P's and Q's because everybody was watching, and the people in LA were about that life. They would turn the fuck up. And they did that shit for a coon. But that's how the community is supposed to operate. That's how it's supposed to operate. It's about power. It's not about right or wrong. It's about morality. It's about power. And you get results that way. They weren't going to arrest those cops in Minneapolis. When people start tearing shit up, things happen, unfortunately. We're not, like my sister just said, we're not dealing with high-minded people. We're dealing with people with a carnal mindset. And they came out of Europe with it. Just think about it. I'm going to go and manifest destiny. I'm going to go and colonize the world. They didn't wipe whole peoples off the planet. Tasmanians ain't here. They gone forever. There was a group of people in Nova Scotia wiped off the planet forever. This is who these people are for conquest. And now they did all that shit out in Australia and New Zealand just so they can jump off rocks and get drunk and have sex. This is a carnal mindset of a group of people. So the sister's right. Our mindsets become their mindset. We've been under them too long. And that's part of the plantation mindset we got to free ourselves from. Just keep it simple. Let's just start with our survival. How about that? Can we do that? Start with doing business with each other. We ain't got to like each other. We ain't got to do none of that shit. Let's just start doing business with each other. If I start doing business with Lightbearer, then she's relying on me to pay her, and then she's doing business with somebody else, somebody's relying on her to pay them, then let's start there. We don't have to like each other. Let's start doing business with each other. Let's try anything you need, start looking for each other. Toilet paper, anybody who make napkins, go out there and get it from somebody black. And then you hold that company accountable. Because now that's politics. Now that company has a base, when it's time for functions or a school needs some money and they got extra ends, they got to come out the pocket. We make sure we set up things to be a nonprofit so they can get a tax cut. That's how white people operate. I give money every year to the Equal Justice Initiative, EGI, remember Brian Stevenson's, and I also give money to the Innocence Project, which is a white organization. But it benefits my interest because they get innocent black men out of jail. And the question I have for everybody here is, do you do it? Do you fund your freedom or things that matter to you? I do. But I'm going to tell you the cool thing about it. They're all set up as nonprofits. So guess what it is for me? It's a tax write-off. So that $1,200 I gave this year to EGI, that's a tax write-off for me. But I'm still powering the cause. Same thing with the Innocence Project. When I get a receipt from them, I get the EIN number, I get something to put on my tax return as something I donated to. And I get a credit for that. This is how everybody operates. Some of these think tanks, these white think tanks, these right-wing think tanks, some of them are set up as nonprofits. So when you like, oh my God, these white people are giving billions of dollars to these people, man, it's a write-off for them. They have a system where they work the system where everything works the way it's supposed to benefit them. And if you're going to be in a system, at least be in it to win. Don't just be in it paying taxes, adding to the goddamn economy, buying commerce. You're feeding the beast, and you're not getting anything out of it. I had a sister when Obama was running in 2008. I ran into it at a store. She was buying some Dixie plates. And I told her, I said, sister, because she had an Obama shirt on. She had the Obama shirt on and the Obama hat. You know what I mean? Everybody was psyched up to get this black man in office, right? So she was buying some Dixie plates. And I said, look, sis, that belongs to Georgia Pacific. Georgia Pacific is owned by the Koch brothers. You funding the people who are giving tens of millions of dollars to his opponents. She's like, oh, I didn't know that. She started to put the plates back, and then she pulled the plates back off the counter, off the shelf, and said, well, I like these plates. And I left it alone. I'm not going to argue with her about it. I tried to inform her. She didn't give a fuck. And this is the immaturity that goes on with us, with political children. You're willing to fund people who are against you. And you do it every day how you spend your dollars. You're not conscious. I was conscious enough to know. I look at the back of labels and see who owns what. I'm that anal with the shit. I don't buy shit from white supremacists unless I absolutely have to. That means my people are not providing it. And I need my people to go out there and provide it. I can't do everything. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a stone worker. Thanks, baby. I'm not none of these other things that, that other brothers can bring to the table as far as their abilities, as far as carpentry or art or mechanics. You know, my brother X is a power mechanic. We need brothers like this. We need everybody to go out here and do what they can do to provide to their community, and then we got to come down and find you, and you know, and patronize that business. And then once we have that, this is the Dr. Claude Anderson, and I know you've been talking about this lately, BMT, about Dr. Claude Anderson. This is what he talks about as part of Powernomics. It's all connected. This is how it goes. And we're not acting like that. All we want to do is complain and talk about what's not going to happen. Defund the police, what next? Defund the police, you step in. That's what happens next. We got to show these people that we're serious, man. And we actually have a small opening right now because there's an anti-immigrant sentiment in the country on the right now with white folk. One of the people they can never get rid of is us. That's why they hate us so much. They can't send us back.
Plus, they're fighting against each other, in-house fighting.
Exactly. We have an opening right now. We refuse to take it.
So let me ask Brother Ease. Brother Ease, are you there, fam?
Yeah, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, how you say your name, brother? Is it Easy or Ease?
Yeah, you can just Easy.
Easy? Yeah, okay. So, Brother Easy, I want to ask you, man. Why do you, I know me and you talked about defending family, handling business. Do you think that a lot of brothers think that that brother was stupid? He shouldn't have done that. You've heard the comments. I've heard them. We looked at different stuff. Do you think the art of defending the home or protecting what's yours is almost but that of a dead? Like that's not something that is practiced enough, or literally it's something that's supposed to be, you know, merchant out to other people. What's your thought on that, Brother Easy?
Well, see, the way I look at that, and the reason why I said it was dumb of what he did was, you know, I have, you know, 7 firearms, right? Rifles, handguns, shotguns, things like that. And one of the things, you know, I was taught coming up was, hey, because my father never owned a firearm ever. But one thing he taught me was, if you ever get a gun, you better know how to use it. You better understand the law concerning that gun. And the reason why what he did was kind of stupid is because there was a case back in near my hometown in North Carolina where I believe it was like somebody looking for help or something like that was knocking on a guy's door. This is out in the country in North Carolina. And the guy just blasted through the door, right? But come to find out, the dude was just looking for help, and it was a whole big deal with the case. I forgot the specifics of the people's names, but it was in Lewisburg, North Carolina, right? So when I start to look at the details of the case and how it all happened, I mean, of course, I feel like every man should definitely do as much as they can to protect their family. But knowing how the country is run and the system we live in, you got to make sure you're on your P's and Q's. You can't just, you know, tell guys to get a gun and that have the right to defend their family without fully explaining to them, hey, certain things you just shouldn't do. You know, I know it's every person's instinct. You know, you got somebody beating on your door trying to come through, but you can't just be so quick to draw and fire that, you know what I'm saying, you end up in a situation like what he was in. So
Easy. There was a brother in Richmond who went through the same thing. The brother in Richmond did the same thing. He has a castle doctrine. That is the law. He did nothing wrong.
Right. It's the law, but you can't just fire your gun through a door.
You can. Easy. You bang on we have guns in Virginia. Look, man, it's 2:00 in the morning. Somebody breaking in your house, dog. I ain't trying to figure it out. That's not how that works, Easy.
I get that. I get that, but what I'm saying is like I said.
I'm supposed to say, Easy. We Americans, man. We're supposed to have rights, dog. They didn't announce themselves easy. They not. That's what no lock warrants are for. So you don't have to announce yourself. You just go in. That's unconstitutional.
I mean,
matter of fact, let me go deeper. Let me go deeper.
I mean,
police officers, the police department is not even a constitutional organization. Sheriffs are.
Now, let me ask that before you go in there, Hat. I'm gonna ask Lightbearer. Lightbearer, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry.
That's why I said let's cut at the meat of the bone. Lightbearer, do you sisters or do you women do y'all trust the black men to step up and fill in the gap that we're asking for? Law enforcement to step back, social services to step back. Do y'all black women trust the fellas to step up and fill in the gap?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I trust black men.
Okay.
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah. All right. So
I,
go ahead, mamas.
I know. I believe. I have. How do I say it? So much trust in the black man. I have no reason not to. I understand the same condition that I've been put through. He's been put through. That doesn't take away from anything. That doesn't take away from me depending on that. You know what I'm saying? The women in slavery. Oh, my children's been loud. I'm sorry about that. The women in slavery, although they saw what they saw, they still trusted the black man.
We got Bam Bam over there. Bam Bam tearing everything up. Bam Bam.
Hold on. I couldn't even hear this right then.
Oh, you didn't hear him? Yeah, my man over there. He's trying to get a plastic bat, man. Shit. I miss little kids, man. Little kids is crazy, but they fun.
Yeah, that's
I miss when my daughter was little.
But yeah, man,
my
just getting back in.
I'm sorry,
but now, what about you, Jay Sean? Are we trusting our women enough? Do you think? But I mean, we hear them. We're banging. We've been in this spot for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts, Jay Sean?
Look, Easy, and I'm gonna let Easy have it in a second. I'm making this real quick because I know Easy got something to say. Yeah, we have no choice to. And here's the thing: I trust everybody, BMT. I trust people to be people. All right. If we're in charge, I'm not worrying about how she feels, whatever the case might be. When I say take your community back, I ain't talking about being nice. We got work to do. We got building to do. We got a lot of shit we need to clean up. She's going to do her job. Now, the thing is, the question is she depending on us for that employment? Or if we're in positions of in local government where we control, her economic fate, then yeah, I trust her to do her thing. Because that's what she's doing. Look, women are going to adjust to the environment that they're in. If she adjusted to this crazy white supremacist country and culture, she's going to readjust to us. That's the way I look at it. All right. Now, the question is, do we have the agency? Now, if we don't have the agency, then I trust her to go with who's buttering her bread. That's just the way it goes. I'm looking at it in a real practical, pragmatic way. I'm not putting no extra sauce on it. I'm not being emotional about the shit. This is business, fam. You know what I mean? We can worry about love and all other stuff later.
In reality, the black man is the strongest man on the planet. In reality, I mean,
if we was in power, I think they'll fall on.
Why do you think they do what they do? They're weak, and they got to put us in a position mentally to have us seem like we defeated, but we're not.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now, boy.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. I got a little bit of pushback on that for Jay Sean because, like, I know he said he's out the country, and I don't know if you want to give any details, but I just wanted to ask him real quick, like, what specific country is he in?
I'm in Germany. I work for DOD. I'm on assignment right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got me and my daughter.
Okay. No problem.
No. I'll give you all the rundown because a lot of people say this. You know why? Because there's a lot of people who try to discredit you. Now, I'm not saying you doing it. But a lot of people try to discredit me because I'm overseas. I wasn't overseas in 2016 when I was on YouTube. I came out here in November 2018. I'm on a job. I'm over here with hundreds of thousands of Americans. All right. I'm out here with my black daughter.
Oh.
Who I got custody of. You know what I mean? Who was with me when I was in Virginia. And and we on a job and I'm coming back. My house is in Virginia. But No, so just to answer your question, yeah, that's why I'm out. There's a whole bunch of us out here. There's a lot of brothers, and we talk. And the funny thing about it, Easy, is that it seems like some of us either who are temporary out of the country or for work, or those who became expats, we're more concerned than some of the brothers out here on YouTube. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because those who live in Japan or live in Germany, we don't deal with this shit. The way police operate over here and treat their citizens is way different than they will get treated in America. When you get out of America and you go to other places, man, you're gonna see that how we are dealt with in America is bullshit. It's gonna hit you dead in your gut how fucked up our situation really is. I would implore any brother to go out here and travel. That's one of the main reasons why you should travel, to go see how other things are, how other things operate, how other people live, how other people eat. You know what I mean? Just get cultured. And politically, when you see that the pros out there will pull people over, they don't have a culture of pulling people over here on the road. They don't.
Jay Sean, though, be careful. I was military too, but be careful.
I got you, man.
Because
I was gonna try, doing about.
I'm just taking the opportunity, Easy, because a lot of brothers been taking shots at me about that shit, not you.
Be careful, Jay Sean, because they have hidden hatred towards us.
The thing is, I asked you that because I didn't know if you was.
I don't think Easy. I don't think you can hear Lightbird. Can you hear Lightbird? Easy, can you hear Lightbird?
I can't hear her at all.
Oh shit, BMT. I don't think he can hear everybody on the panel.
Yeah, I can just hear you on BMT.
Lightbird, just back out and come right back in, okay, baby?
Yeah, Lightbird, come back. Go down and come back up, sweetheart.
Okay.
What you were saying, Easy?
But yeah, no, the reason why I had asked you that was because I'll give you an example, right? And this is mostly, before I started traveling, because I traveled too, not much for work, but just, looking for properties and things like that, and just, enjoying my youth, whatever. But, you know what I'm saying? One of the reasons why I came to a lot of the conclusions I did about Black people in America is because of when I took and spent a lot of time in Belize, right? Belize is basically run by Black people, and they speak English. But what I noticed was when I went there, they have a lot of the same problems that we have being run by Black people, but also, like you said about not getting stopped and stuff like that. That's why that's actually cool, because you named Germany, but in Belize they got checkpoints where they're stopping, checking folks, and it's not white people or Mexican people. This is folks that look just like folks in the U.S. stopping folks and checkpoints. Like there's literal checkpoints all over Belize where they just literally is stopping people. It might be open one day, next day it might not be open. Now, the point I was trying to make is that when I look at, even when BMT asked the question about the women and everything like that, when I'm in Belize and I'm just, kicking it or talking to friends there, enjoying the people, like a lot of brothers still have a lot of the same concerns about the same stuff we're talking about. And the reason why I bring up Belize as well is because for me, I went to Belize, that was like what we kind of asked for in America, and being able to self-govern and stuff like that. And I know it's other issues that go on with that with Queen and all of that stuff. But for the most part, when I'm there, and that's why I like going there so much, it's being around people, and it seems nearly here with like a little Caribbean twist to it. So when I go there, though, it's the same issues with the women there as it is here. And I'm not even going to say that it's forced on them per se, but it's more of they're looking to us as like examples and things like that. Because when I go there, whatever we're doing or whatever culturally cool and accepted here, I notice that it might not pick up as fast in Belize, but it ends up being the same thing there. So, my point is that, it sounds good when we say, oh, elect these officials, do this and do that. But for me, when I can go to another country and see like, well, wow, there's still motherfuckers riding around with the I mean, guns are totally. You can barely get a gun like that in Belize, but yet it's still the same type of violent stuff.
Yeah.
But when you got small little communities, because when you look at Belize, right, you got small little communities of white folks in Belize, Mennonites, and I would say they are definitely not direct comparison to white communities in America, but you got communities of Mennonites, Amish, whole like little villages of retired people, retired white folks, and you don't really see that issue in their communities or them commit those same acts. And again, I get that they're not direct comparison to white society in America.
Yeah.
But it's like, why is it like it for me? Not even just that, but I'll touch on one thing because I know you kind of said a while back about like the programs and things that you give into. Like for me, my personal thing is I got locked up, what is it, like 4 years ago now? And I'm in jail and this brother's in there that's still waiting for trial, right? So I'm sitting there and my mind's blown. I'm like, bro, you've been in here for 23 months. Like you haven't gotten the court date and stuff? I'm just waiting. That's the answer. And it's like 5 or 6 guys. So, I'm writing letters. I ended up writing letters to their attorneys and because most of these guys have court-appointed attorneys or whatever. And so I'm writing letters to them and I'm writing letters to the DA. And about half the guys I wrote letters for ended up being able to get, because after I got out, I still checked in on the guys. But then again, it makes me think, okay, was what I did really worth it? Because I'm going to find out, because I calling the guys, getting their numbers and everything. So coming all back around full circle, 2 years later, 3 years later, all those guys are back in jail again. So for me, it's just like, it's one thing when you do stuff and you give to organizations and programs to help, but it's another thing when you literally try to help and then you see the results directly thereafter, like you're ground level with. And that's for me, that's why I like when BMT says, hey, are we going to have those brothers to step up in the community? I just don't really think it's going to be that, because I think it's going to be that clash of those brothers that have literally put in the work, saw the result, and kind of stepped back a little bit. And then those brothers that are still going to keep trying to perpetuate the shit in the community that's messing everything up for everybody, making the conditions so horrible. And I just wanted to say that because that's the viewpoints I hold as far as like, I don't necessarily think that it's just white supremacy, because we all know that we have an issue here. But when like I said, once I put my hand in it and I'm actually in the trenches trying to do stuff for brothers, because I didn't have to do nothing for the brothers. But when you see something, you have that compassion hit you, you're like, damn, like this is wrong, what's going on. And of course it's the system that's helping those brothers to, whatever's going on with them, why they ain't with the trial, they're just sitting there rotting in jail, making money for the county. But at the same time, it's like you get that level of, and that's what I had for Breonna Taylor, that's what I have for George Floyd. Most people and brothers that's conservative, when we see these instances, of course you're gonna feel the compassion. Of course you're gonna say, well, damn, that's fucked up. But then it's also a line of where after you feel that compassion, then you're just like, well, damn. Like as soon as I start to, be like, well, fuck, this is somebody we can really ride for, it ends up coming out with all the other shit behind it.
I just want to make a quick correction. Earlier I said 100 billion. I meant 10 billion for the New York Police Department budget. I know that number was crazy, but it was $10 billion for that budget. And I want to thank Julian for correcting me on Robert Smith. He wasn't indicted, but he's under investigation. All right, so, but he is under investigation by the feds. So anyway, I feel where you're coming from, but let me ask you a question. What state was you locked up in?
North Carolina.
Okay. Okay. All right. Was it like was it
Yeah.
violent crime or non-violent crime? Now, there's a reason why I'm asking that question.
Violent crime.
All right. So, and those I got to ask one question. Those brothers you said that was sitting up in there, how many of them went in for non-violent crimes? Like drug possession, gun possession, but
there was maybe 3 that was in there for non-violent crime. What did that? I was specifically because I was where I was at. It was it's a whole situation with that, but where the specific guys I'm talking about 3 of them had non-violent crimes.
yeah. Truth be told, the only reason you're supposed to be held until trial is if you're a danger to the community, and even that is still not constitutional, but it's just something we all go by. Every state has it on the books, and no one's really challenged it. But if you're in there for a non-violent crime, you're not supposed to be set up in there. You're supposed to get booked and released. But this is what I mean by the increase of police contact and then other policies on top of that, on top of that, on top of that. And it creates, a whole system that's out of whack. You know what I mean? So now you got motherfuckers like it was in Rikers Island sitting there with no trial. Years with no trial. That's clearly unconstitutional. You know what I mean? But you increase all these police contacts over nothing. It could be over gang affiliation, gang injunctions, which is like all in laws for the East Coast versus what they have on the West Coast. And then you got drug possession. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, in white America, there's a bonanza going on. White people fight all the time. They have fights at parties all the time. They have fights at the club all the time. They get drunk and fight all the time. They do more drugs than anybody in the country. There's 4 times more of them, but 4 times. See, this is about who gets policed. That's what this is really about. This is what this is really about. And police departments get funded to do exactly what they're mandated to do. So when you're in a city like New York City, their directive is to fuck with you. That's their directive, to fuck with you. Make your life a living hell. Run their numbers up off the back of black people. They got caught on tape saying, yeah, we don't have quarters, but they got a tape of sergeants telling their people to go out there. There's money on the street. Y'all leaving money on the table. Talking about pulling people over. We saw this in Ferguson when they got investigated. And they saw that 5 times, you have a small number of black people there and they like damn near 40 to 50% of the tickets. They're just making money off these people. And then you have a culture where they beat up a black guy, right? They beat up a black guy. He bleeds on a uniform and then they charge him for destruction of police property. This is the insanity we're dealing with. We're dealing with evil people. This is not just people. You cannot be policed safely by those people. Policies have to be changed. And the first policy you do is you defund the police. You strip them down to bare responsibilities, bare patrolling, bare, bare necessity. All this extra shit they be doing, that has to be pulled off the table. We redo that. You know what? We're going to do a reset. You know what? Going forward, okay, we think this police activity makes sense. No, we're not funding that police activity. This is what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. So we look at the New York budget, the New York City police budget, you got $6 billion and some change. It's almost $7 billion. And then you got another $3.1 billion for ununiform, salaries. This is corruption. They want to spend that kind of money on policing you, but won't spend $1 billion to help you.
Exactly.
That makes no sense.
They won't
That's
give us
evil in action.
They won't give you reparations. They want to kill us, is what it is. They want to kill us.
Exactly. This is on purpose. You can't argue that.
That's what the COVID-19 thing is about. Is go ahead and make us feel like we're a part of them, and we're in there with them.
I totally agree with you, man. Like you are gonna have instances where it's the fuck shit and the bullshit. But I'm gonna give a little pushback. That's like when you say they're upping the interactions with the community. I mean, let's just be honest here. That's what's going to happen with police across the board with the situation, really. I work out here in the field, West Texas, New Mexico, right? We got a highway out here called the Highway of Death. The speed limit was 65. Within sometime this year, they dropped it down to 55. Now that they dropped it down to 55, they got, 20, 30 cops within 40, 50 mile range just waiting to pull people over. I'm talking about truck drivers, guys just going to the location or whatever. So, you know, what did my company do, right? Instead of them saying, oh, you know, that's some fuck shit, they implemented a policy within the company, and I'm gonna tie it back to the black community in a second. They implemented a policy saying, hey, we don't care that the speed limit is this. This is the max that y'all gonna drive when y'all driving for us. And so effectively they nipped it in the bud if we're all on point with what the policy is of the change as far as the system with the police. And so the way I tie that back into the black community, and it kind of ties into the whole topic of, you know, brothers willing to step up. Like, when is the black community gonna say, okay, we see that they're trying to increase these interactions. We see that they're, you know, heavily arresting us more than others. What can we do to offset what they're doing? I get that you got to go to, you know, elect different people and you know, get the people in place to change the laws. But in the meantime,
Easy, you got to draw a line in the sand somewhere, though.
When are we going to come together?
I'm saying, but you got to draw a line in the sand somewhere. We already forfeited getting fucked with in the streets. People stop you in the middle of the street and ask you for your license and asking you where you going and all that. We already forfeited that. So at some point, either in the police state or we not.
Mm-hmm.
So hold on. No,
Like
somebody sent me a message and they asked
Lightbearer, she can't hear you, Lightbearer. Hold on, Lightbearer was trying to say something.
Okay.
Yeah, well, our people are still trying to make integration work. These people that can you hear me?
Easy, I'll let you know when she's done. Go ahead, Lightbearer.
Oh, okay. Our people are still pushing integration and trying to make it work. The people who have been chosen, you know, for these radio stations and the you know, the people news stations, you know, our black people that are in giant places, they're still in their mindset, still pushing integration works.
Right.
And it doesn't work for us. So we know that it doesn't work for us. But the ones who are getting paid to stay, to keep us at bay, are in a state of delusion. When we are in reality, we've waken up and we're ready to get our own black men to be police officers, but be better than police officers, be like protectors, use our sciences, because we don't need to just use guns. We use more than just that. Because we are more than just that. But we have to be way above this society. And we know that we can nip this in the butt real quick. We just have to have the cohesiveness. They got us with these ideologies and what y'all call it? They got us in the mind with all these ideas and
the ideology is fine. That works.
Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about.
I understand, sis.
Can you somebody let
and you know, and
you know what I was saying?
Yeah, I think I would say this. I'm gonna throw it to Easy because
Okay.
I would say this, sis. They bank on our divisiveness. All right, they bank on that. They bank on the fact that, look, white people know us. They know us. They know we got issues between black men and black women. They know some of us about that life. They know some of us not. They know some of us are going to rat. Some of us, you know what I mean? They know us. They know they Negro. That's one thing about them that I cannot deny. They know us. That's why they quick to pull somebody out. Well, Kanye said, well, you know, Candace Owens said, you know, they were quick. They know us, man. They know us. They know a lot of us are scared. That's the reason why. That's the word. What's the word spook comes from? The word spook comes from us being scared, with the big eyes, being scared, and they jumping at you and kicking you in the butt, and they call you a spook. That's where the word spook comes from.
Jay Sean, so and somebody sent me a few messages. What would be the benefit of black people who literally have not had the best experience with blacks to all of a sudden want to work with blacks? Like, why? Like, I mean, honestly, if they're doing fine, they're making money. And yeah, because we're talking about, well, you need to come back here. Back to what? Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm trying to figure out, because I'm just saying, like, mm-hmm. If people ain't making what I'm and doing what I'm doing, Why am I going to slow down my progress of what I'm doing?
Everybody in the black community, everybody in the white community do what they're supposed to be doing.
But
people in the black white community getting high, partying, doing what the fuck they want to do. It's always a core group of people who are the leaders. That's in every society. But I would say where it benefits you because it gives you a protection. That's where it benefits you. And we really don't have a choice.
Right.
We really don't have a choice. Whoever wrote that to you, I'm just telling you right now, we don't really have a choice. It's the only answer to our problems. Every other group understands this but us.
So who gonna deal with the yummies in the community? That was something we talked about yesterday.
I put it like this. I make it funny. I make it real comical. And if anybody's seen Back to the Future, y'all can ride with me on this. Back to the Future is about resetting order in white society. Okay? The Biffs do not run white society. The George McFlys do. And then they bring up the Marty McFlys. So when you see at the end of the first episode, the first movie, the first part, the first one, when he comes back and his family's together and his father's in charge and Biff's washing the car and all that kind of shit. And then Biff tries to say something slick and he's like, hey, Biff. And then Marty gives him an order. So now his son is giving him an order. And the reason why that happens is because he has Biff's livelihood in his hands. Mm-hmm. That's how you control your people. That's how every society operates.
Mm-hmm. You want to know?
The brightest and the toughest and the mentally toughest of us need to be in leadership, but only for us, though. You know what I mean? And they need to rule their people the way they need to rule their people until we get to a better place. You know how many white people have been sacrificed to build this empire?
So BMT, this is how you deal with yummies. In Africa, you notice they don't have a yummy. If they have a yummy, they nip it in the butt, right? Let's just put it that way. Yummies in Africa get dealt with. They do beatings over there. And not one person beating you. When you steal over in Africa, you pay a big price. Cool.
Is it on me about that question?
BMT, that's my. Did you hear me, BMT?
I can hear you. Easy can't hear you, but go ahead, Easy. Hey, hold on, Easy. Before you go, I just want to say something. You know what's crazy, BMT? There's a conversation in the chat room about the same thing we're talking about right now. Because they talking about Mao and all kind. I'm kind of reading the comments. There's an extra debate going on in the chat room. I just want to point that out. They talking about the kind of similar what we talking about, taking over your class of people. Now I ain't talking about doing what Mao did, but this is what people do. This is what other people have done to get where they are.
Well, like I said, I'm gonna be going over that later. Like I said, I don't trust the black ruling class. I don't really trust too many blacks. I don't. Like I said, I've seen what power does, and I've seen what it does. It literally, if you don't agree with the powers that be, then they'll castrate you or they'll paint your picture.
Right now, you're under power of the people. You comfortable with that?
Well, guess what? Shit. Hey, you can always say, well, you're under power of the people. There's always going to be a bigger power. No matter what you say, there's always going to be a bigger power.
Okay, but this power.
I'm a soldier, so I know that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, BMT. But this power has mentally destroyed us. They fucked up our women. You know what I mean? This power has fucked up our boys. This power means no harm. They're humiliating it. I'm telling you right now, these killings online, these are being transmitted and shared between white supremacist groups all over the country. All these little pockets of Facebook groups, all that. They share this content. Now, you know how I know? I'll give you a great example. Aubrey. I'm on Aubrey.
Okay.
We found out about him because they were sharing the video in the chat rooms. That's how it got out.
Okay.
That's how it got out. This is comedy to them. All this shit, the fucking police, the body cam, they love that. That's up and close and personal. They get the shit, nigga get shot on camera. Oh man, they love it. This is entertainment for them. If they were moral people, they would stop this. Now, granted, there was a handful of them out there who mean well, who mean well and want to be stopped. But a lot of them, they don't care. A lot of them are just out there to be in the streets to be out there. They out there doing fighting for other shit. They's anti-government. Using our blood to start some shit up and burn some shit down. We've seen the videos, the anarchists and the Antifas and all that. That's not us. Okay, but my point is this though. Like my point is, brother, like all we gonna keep staying under these people has not done us any good. Being up under them.
So
because they messed us up, now we look at each other and we're like, okay, we too messed up now to come out of it.
So I know. So in asking that, are we supposed to you and I'm being honest. You want me to bank everything I worked hard for in my 30 plus years on black people that aren't doing the same shit I'm doing? I'm asking you straightforward. I'm asking you a legit question.
I would because there's a lot of them out here doing it.
Okay.
We do the same thing everybody else do. We concentrate on the fuckery. There's a lot of black people out here putting.
Well, no, I'm not. But see, that's the thing about the ones that are doing stuff. They're not here. They're not. They're not here on YouTube. I don't hear black. I don't hear the black men that I. Okay.
I'll give you an example. Like for instance, you got that consortium of bitter bitches, right? You know, everything's black men this, divesting, all that crazy talk, right? But there's also sisters out here like Nicole's View, Lisa Cabrera, Taisha, Nikhil Younglove. There's a bunch of sisters out here, Mocha Cafe de Paris. There's a lot of sisters out here. We don't care about them. We care about the Sinjis and the Crystal Carises and the Christies. And by doing that, we promote them.
Okay.
I'd rather talk about them as an issue and ideology, not by name, because frankly, I'm not looking to them for leadership for one. I'm not looking for black women to fix my issues. I want her cooperation, but I'm not looking for her to be my leader. That's one. So that's the main reason I never go over there. I'm not even interested in debating her. For what? For what? She's not for what? I don't need you to agree. You're gonna go with white daddy, or you're gonna get with us. You're gonna be with your family, you're gonna go over there, go hop the fence. Either way, you're gonna do it, bounce, sister. I'm cool. I'm not arguing with you on that shit.
No, I can agree. I can agree with you on that.
But my sisters who are down, I just named you like 5 sisters.
I don't even know who they are, but I'll take your word for it.
That's my point.
Listen. I do not have no credence in. Like I said, I've already had the conversation with doggone. Like I said, I went over to X's channel yesterday. I asked Obsidian about let's have a debate about is the manosphere for black family. He said, no, I don't want to talk about that. Okay. So let's talk about the colorism issue. I don't want to talk about that. So let's talk about the Breonna Taylor issue. I don't want to talk about that. So you're telling me that this is a 15-year plus space that don't give a fuck for anything that I give a fuck about.
All right, look, let's be honest.
So honestly,
you're being nice.
Waste of fucking time.
BMT, you being nice.
I have a channel.
That's right. What's up,
so you do right there? Let me know. The only thing I can tell you right now, the whole manosphere is full of shit. So,
the manosphere only cares about
this space.
Let's just be honest. The manosphere
y'all can carry that to wherever y'all want to carry it.
I'm just being honest. Look, the manosphere, I said it here. They only care about pussy. That's all.
I'll give you that.
All right, that's all it's about. It's pussy focused. I mean, it's driven by what, I mean, this. I'm not looking to mama to save me, man. I love hearing from sisters who got good idea and good content that makes me feel like, all right, there's some sisters out here that got our back. Cool. But at the end of the day, I am a knuckle dragging Neanderthal with this shit. All right? I wish I can duplicate myself because I really don't want to be under these people no more.
You're not a Neanderthal.
I'm just saying, man. I'm a rigid. I'm not flexible.
You're a warrior.
I'm not flexible with this shit, and I operate like that in the real world. And I'm known for that. When I was at DC, generals know me. They did like this guy, and I maintain. I represent us well wherever I go. You're gonna maintain. I'm gonna maintain that respect, and I've gotten into it with white men who were in their 40s and 50s who were, right wingers and stuff like that. I got into it with them and shitted on them. I'm very sarcastic. I speak sarcasm, which is one of their languages. So I am an unapologetically proud black man where I go. Wherever I step in the world, I represent you, BMT. I represent Easy. I'm over here representing you right now. So when I'm dealing with other groups of people, I'm conscious of that. And I'm excellent at what I do on top of that. Now that's my mentality, that's my attitude. I can't account for everybody, but I want to at least be the example that I go out here and talk about. Because everything I talk about, I'm about. A lot of these dudes in the manosphere are not. They're not about it.
Whoa. This space supposed to be a space that represents the best of what is supposed to be black men. Now, if that's the case, I'm just like I said. I'll listen. I can honestly give a fuck about a lot of this shit nowadays because honestly, it's not conducive to building it. Like I said, I'm very unapologetically. Listen, y'all know I done cammed up my life and who I am. Man. So niggas can't dox me. How do you dox that or what doxes itself to show you the example of this is how we need to roll?
Right. And
you know what I'm saying?
You already doxed me. So you
can't dox a man that lives in this truth.
Yeah, exactly. You get my real name in Google Me. You like, oh, okay, LinkedIn this, LinkedIn that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It is what it is with me. But BMT, I feel your frustration and I feel your pain, man. All I can say to you is
it's nothing against you, Jake. Like, I'm gonna be honest, and this is me breaking bread with you. I don't know how to properly be pro-black. I don't. Not that I have anything, and I'm gonna be doing a stream about that. I don't know how to properly be pro-black. I don't have a problem of shopping at a black business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem loving and supporting a black school or black children or a black woman. I don't have a problem doggone supporting black things.
That sounds like you pro-black.
The stuff that I see going on here.
Yeah.
The stuff I see going on now.
BMT, that's what I'm saying. Understand that the shit we got going on right now with us is on a timeline. And I think a lot of people miss the timeline. We didn't just get here yesterday, BMT. This stuff that happened to us, environments that happened, change. We went through the crack epidemic, man. We went through, redlining and racial covenants, man. We went through no capital being given to you. We went through fucking, what's those loans they gave us the subprime loan lending, where we lost everything in 2007, 2008. This is what we've been through. So what I'm saying is this. Man. Look, we've been through a lot. We're still here. You know what I mean? Look at the Indians. We're still here, 40 million deep. We're a resilient people. We might be half crazy, but we're here.
Okay.
And my question to you is this: is it worse than slavery? So if we can rebound from that, you know what I mean, and do the changes. I'm telling you right now, them brothers who
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Well, actually,
it's not worse than slavery, and I'm about to pass to the light bearer. Okay. It's not worse than slavery. But I will say this. It's one thing to know that you're being oppressed.
Right.
It's another thing when you're mentally oppressing yourself in a cage that you don't have to be oppressed in. Mm-hmm. So when I say that, and I mean, like, listen, man, like, y'all think I want to fight? Listen, man, I don't want to fight y'all. Mm-hmm. I worked very hard to get to where I am today. I believe that all of us have been busting our ass. We all have our trials and tribulations. Yep. But I'll be damned if our own people are stabbing us in our back, like, are stabbing us just for the come up. Like, it shouldn't have to be like
go put it in the sink.
So, I mean, not to say, hey, yeah, but damn it, like I told my doggone cousin, bro, you had a choice to pick up that damn pipe and smoke it. You saw what it did to granddaddy. You saw what it did to auntie. You could have walked away. So I'm asking, at what point do we say, okay, man, we going too far off the cliff? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Honestly, that's why I said, do I trust my neighbor? Do I trust my neighbor enough to have my back?
Let me ask you a question, BMT. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
When we came out of slavery, we went right into Reconstruction. And then even the brothers who built up Tulsa, right? So, and other towns like that. We came out of. Do you know how much ignorant nigga shit they had to put up with?
A lot.
Think about just the fact that they had so many people coming off the plantation who couldn't read. You understand what I'm saying to you? I'm not talking about doing something that's easy. But we're in a way better position than that. We just got to change the culture. The culture's fucked up. Like my man said in the chat room, it starts at home. It starts at home, and we build from there.
But hold on now. We're dealing with a generation now where
Exactly.
everybody.
My thing is, if we don't have to raise,
I'm hearing it where out of their own mouths, fuck the home, fuck marriage, fuck family. I'm like, well, shit. The fuck I'm doing hanging around y'all? Well, hold on. The fuck I'm doing around y'all? You ain't about to walk in for a burning building. Y'all supposed to be going to goddamn Transformers and shit.
Then y'all tell me what the answer is. Then do nothing. That's what I'm saying. It sounds like y'all saying do nothing. We're gonna have to.
I agree with
We're gonna have to raise the generation that we want, man. This is not easy work. It's not easy work.
It's not.
We are, man. That's what I'm saying. So if those people could come off the slave plantations, all right, participate in the political system. That's when we had black senators and black congressmen in Reconstruction, and then they were stripped of it, and then we went to terrorism since then. So when you sit here and be on your people, BMT, my only pushback is like, all right, I'm not disagreeing with you that we're fucked up. I'm saying, how do we get fucked up? And that's where the compassion comes in. You gotta say, all right, fine. If I'm a sound man, I gotta have some vision, and I gotta meet with other brothers and sisters who have vision. Now, how are we gonna get out of this? Because this is the groundwork for just like, you know what? No one do anything. Just do you, take care of yourself, and roll the dice and hope nobody fucking pulls your kid over and kills him.
Okay, Jay Sean, I will give you that. Listen, I get it, the 80s baby thing. Listen, I've been there.
I'm not talking about the 80s. I'm talking about 1900 up.
Okay, no. But I'm saying, I'm here now. I can't go back. But I'm here right now.
I'm not talking about going back. Being
okay. Now
I'm saying you're in this situation right now.
I'm not talking about we not acknowledging our past, but I'm saying right now, nobody's stopping Light Bearer from going in the pawn shop, purchasing unless she got some kind of crazy record. Hell, even then, she could probably send one of us to go get her a goddamn strap and going down to the range and let her start putting in practice. I'm being dead ass serious. That's how radical my brain is these days.
But then BMT, if that's the case, then we don't need leadership then.
Oh shit.
Policy.
I've been done.
No. This is individual talk. This is like, well, that's not how societies are ran. Even white society doesn't run that way. All right, they don't run as individuals. That's why when you go to a Trump rally, there's the dregs of their society there. They go to the white streets. Everybody's involved, and they feel like they got a stake in it. That's just is what it is. That's all societies. Chinese people come over to America, they build up businesses in America, and then they ship poor Chinese in containers over here and throw them in the goddamn back of the sweatshop or the restaurant.
Well, Jay Sean, on that note, I don't, from what I see things, each one of us are leaders. So we each have a job to do. And that's the way I see it. I think what they get us at is us feeling like we have to appoint one person a leader, and they use that against us.
Yeah.
They now the thing is, instead of tell pro, now they build a leader for us and they put them in. They do that in African countries. Yeah. So we have to beware and come out of that mindset and realize that we the ones who are serious about this, the men that are serious about this, they're gonna put their heads together, because we've always had a group of men that not were over each other but worked together. Look at the high priests that we had and stuff like that. The group of high priests we had.
The greatest example that we can use of that in recent times, even though I don't agree with the philosophy, but it's just looking at the tangibles that they built was the Nation of Islam.
The Moors. Mm-hmm.
And just going on how it is, how they just take criminals, and they rebuild these brothers. You know what I mean? They take hoes and they rebuild these sisters. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? And that takes work. They have a doctrine, they have a policy, they have training, they have things they live by and things they institute to make sure that this come about. And that's my point. Is we're going to sit on the sidelines and keep complaining about the black community, or we're going to pull our sleeves up and run our black community. You know what I mean?
Now, hold up. Now, Jay Sean, somebody said in the chat a while back, MGTOW has rules, SYSBM has rules. Why don't black men have rules.
I saw that.
Have rules?
The code of conduct is
Why don't
what
we
Jay
have
Sean
code of
mentioned.
conduct?
That's what Jay Sean mentioned.
That's what I'm saying. Their code of conduct is not about the group. Their code of conduct is about individuals, which is not a code of conduct. Sis Bim doesn't really have any rules. I didn't destroy the Sis Bim.
You did?
I'm a Sis Bim killer. I didn't pick their tenants apart. This is bullshit. It's about I want a non-black pussy on my dick. That's all it's about. And that's gonna free me. And they calling these girls stargates.
Don't say that, Jay Sean. They
no, I've read their tenants and we've had the battles and all that, and that they call these women stargates. So they transmit into a whole nother galaxy.
Oh shit.
They lie. White people lie. They don't have anything. That's why they're trying to bring us down, because we're about ready to change, and they're trying to get this vaccine out so they can destroy our genetics.
If you want to do MGTOW, okay, MGTOW is what? That's first of all, MGTOW is some white boys movement we latched on. Same thing with Red Pill. You know what I mean? It's like stop latching on to other people's stuff. We're black men. We have our own problems, our own issues. We have our own swag. We have our own way of speaking. We understand each other. Even a brother from New Orleans understand where I'm coming from. We talk street talk. Two street brothers from New York can understand a street brother from New Orleans. I mean, we understand each other where we coming from, man, because we all come through the same shit. All right? We all coming through the same thing, no matter what part of the country you in. That's our issue, man. Always trying to find these stupid-ass movements when you already have one. It's kind of the same issue I have with the fraternities. It's all rites of passage. I already got my rites of passage. It's called being black.
And the white woman in the black community is destroying the black community, because she's becoming the children will be loyal to whiteism. The children that are born of her will be loyal to her. The children born to black women are loyal to the black woman.
Now look, I'm not talking about doing uneasy, man. Look, we get a code of conduct amongst us. That's my pushback to that question. Being T will be this: why can't we get it? If you want to come up with these goddamn movements and these fucking alphabetical letters, and come up with a code of conduct and rules, why don't you just make one for your own people, for your own group, and start working with other men and start finding out what we agree on. Let's find, all right, you got 20 ideas, I got 20 ideas. What 10 do we agree on? And we start, you know what I mean? And if we feel like something needs to be tweaked, then we tweak it as we go along. But we run our society. We're not running our society. That's all that's happening to us right now. And it was done on purpose. And the question is, are we going to let it continue?
One person says the community is done too much disrespect to work together.
I agree, Jay. I'll build a new one, bro. That's my answer to that. That's my answer to that. I'll build a new one. I'm tired of black men running around here calling themselves black men. But you know, being black, call yourself black. Use that adjective in front of the man means you're claiming your group. You're claiming your group. You're claiming the group that you come from. So if you're part of a group, then fuck it. Why are you sitting here, you know what I mean? Like, I never seen motherfuckers just root against themselves.
So are you saying that literally? Because when we're talking about literally, you can't build another one non-black women. Now, like I said,
I'm sorry, JR, man. I'm sorry. Come on, it's crazy talk, man. You crazy talk. You just gonna go out there, have mixed kids, and they're gonna fall in line with the dominant society, which is still ruling as a white class.
So wait, so are the men capable? Do you think? And that's why I asked the question. Do you think these men think that they're capable of actually being, or just like I said, like I'm curious at the concept because other people are forming up their own ranks of stuff for what's going on with all the anarchy, all the chaos. I don't hear, other people talking about, hey man, like. Y'all need to get on board with it. I mean, well, they'll say get it.
Hold up. What do you think mass shootings is about? Mass shootings is about putting their people in check. That's what white violence is about. It's about putting them in check. That's why they have terms like nigger lover.
Oh, shit.
They commit violence against each other to put themselves in check all the time. That's how you keep look, you want to keep a group afraid to fall in line with the bullshit, you hurt them. That's why the police don't touch them. They know they're about that life. They pull out guns and shoot cops in the face. That's how they handle shit in their group. I'm gonna ask you a question, man. If Sikhs was sitting here right now on this panel, would a Sikh have a problem saying that they pro-Sikh? To be Sikh means an identity. That I'm identifying that I'm this. I am this. I am Sikh. I am this. I'm part of this religion, this culture, this group of people. So when you sit here and say you black, but you want to be with non-black women, or you want to create a whole nother demographic, that's a sick nigga. You're sick. All right? You build up your shit. You fix your shit. You run your shit. If you smart and you better than Pookie and Ray Ray, then run them by offering Pookie and Ray Ray jobs. That's how you control Pookie and Ray Ray. That's how you control Keisha.
Mm-hmm.
You're a thinking black man. You want to build enterprises for somebody else. I heard a brother was on live stream last week talking about he going down to Colombia to invest. So you're going to help Colombians build up some shit? I don't understand, man. Look, man. Look, do what you want to do. I can't control every brother that comes along, man. But I'm saying like this. If you consider yourself a black man, you have your own plight. You have your own problems. The black community is fucked up. I'm not going to argue with you on that. That's not the argument. That's why I think it's immature when you see motherfuckers in the chat room talking about the community's done. Oh, done? Okay. Okay, then it's done. I agree. Okay, let's build a new one.
Because it's always going to be some survivors, some strong black survivors. There's always going to be a strong group of survivors. And that's what we are. And that's why they're trying to kill us off with this fake COVID-19 and this vaccine. They're rushing to get out, and the 5G towers they done stuck up because people don't understand exactly the science behind who we are and who they are. It's clearly written out in the Bible who they are. We do not come from Adam and Eve. We were here before. We're the first creation that the Bible talks about, that we're able to replenish the earth. We're able to eat of the greenery of the
I'm sorry,
of the
I gotta respond to this. J.I., I'm glad we agree on something, but I'm gonna say this to you, J.I., real quick. I'm not worried about disrespect and mistrust. That's emotional shit. You know what's more disrespectful? Telling a brother he's fired because he don't want to act right. That's disrespectful. When you get in that position, all the other shit goes out the window. See, we're not talking business here. We're talking about hanging out and being cool. I'm talking about business, fam. I'm talking about building so you can have families. When I'm in a position to hire and fire you, dog, I'm not worried about whether you like me or not. I'm not worried if I could trust you or not. Your ass better be here on time, do your job, or you out of here.
Do you think that now literally again, that's why I said when you're talking about these levels of power, that's literally meaning that you're not looking at any other group or system to fill in the gaps. That's just you on your own having to counter that weight. Do you think that the men or the women are ready for that level of responsibility? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just saying, I don't call out to no other group, no pill, none of that bullshit. I don't call to none of them for no damn power.
I say yes.
I mean,
we got enough black professionals. We got enough black female and male professionals, man, to carry the weight. We are just not organized. We're not on the same page. The reason why we're not rocking the way we need to be rocking because everybody's doing them. That's it. Whether you some hoes down in Atlanta doing them or some dudes that moved over to Cali because they want to get all the different ones, they just doing them. They're not thinking about anything else. They have no purpose. You're disjointed people. That's your problem. We have enough doctors. We have enough scientists. We have enough project managers, IT. There's nothing but black men doing road work in D.C. right now and other parts of the country that are all black. We have everything we need to start. We have more than immigrants have when they get here.
Mm-hmm.
This is bullshit. The mentality is the problem.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying, John. A lot of our people have skills in America.
Yeah, everything we need in America. We're entrenched in this bitch. They can't get us out of it. We are part of America where they want us to not. We in it deeper than anybody. We can't be deported. We can't be. Our numbers can't be drawn down like they how they do with immigration. They turn it up and turn it down. Who can come in? They can't do none of that to us. All we gotta do is perform, be on code, and fuck our women and get pregnant. That's all we gotta do. And defend ourselves. That's all we need to do. And cats don't want to do it. Cats in here talking about feelings. They were ostracized. Man, get the fuck out of here. You got people in the Divine Nine and rich society ostracizing people down in the ghettos. So it goes both ways. The bottom line is that's all emotional. Right now, we know that we all need each other. That's clear as day. Now, if you think Sis Bim is going to save you, then go ahead, nigga. Bye-bye with that silly shit. Because I can go out here and talk about all the brothers who went through the ringers with white women in marriages. I could talk about black men who've been killed by Asian baby mothers, like that shit that happened down in California. You got black men left and right going to court, getting raked over the coals. Ask Blake Griffin. Ask Strahan. You an American system. The system's the problem when it comes to that. But as far as disrespect, I ain't worried about none of that shit, man. You can't disrespect me. Look, you can say what you want in these chat rooms. You can say what you want online about Jay Sean. But guess what? When I disconnect from this shit, I'm gonna kiss my door on the forehead. I'm gonna stay living in this goddamn penthouse. I know that. Because I'm not worried about how you make me. You can't change nothing on that level. I'm not worried about how you make me feel. What I care about is progress. What I care about is outcomes. E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. That's the philosophy I live by. And this right here, this talk, that's not about outcomes. That's about emotion. Somebody dissed you in high school. Nigga, I've been dissed. And guess what? I dissing back. Why don't you get some balls? That's the world you lived in. And no one disses you more than the dominant society. No one disrespects you more than the dominant society. You gonna vote for Trump? He's over here fucking around making Kanye West show up a representative. He's out here fucking around making Diamond and Silk or put them on rallies. That's respect. You got disrespect coming from the Democrats. You got disrespect coming from the Republicans. Now what? Clean up your shit. Straighten up your community. And I ain't talking about being nice. Lead this shit with an iron fist. Do what needs to be done. I'm talking about Cobra Kai style. Sweep the motherfucking leg. Stop being out here being a punk. I'm not settling for another man's leadership for the rest of the days of my life. And that's what you cats are settling for. I'm going to go get me a Becky, a girl from another man's community. I'm going to get me a May Lane, another girl from another man's community. And you still have no protection. You still have no agency. And neither do brothers. So the thing is, the way I ignore some other people, I'm going to start ignoring you because you don't have my back, brother. If something happened to me and my daughter right now, you don't have my back. That's what you're telling me. All this individual nonsense. You don't have my back. You're not going to be there for me. I'm a good brother with a top secret clearance, never been to jail, handling my fucking business, man. And you will not have my back. That's all you saying to me. So fuck Sis Bim. How about that? And I'll tell you to your face. Because you ain't no different than goddamn swirlers. Both of y'all weak. You're going to run to the people trying to dominate you. That don't even make sense. Talking about it's the logical and niggas always bring up logic and shit. That's illogical. I'm gonna run to groups that are trying to dominate me, groups that make fun of me all the time. You can't go to Asian countries without them bashing them and doing blackface and making fun of you. And it's not getting into their cultures, how backwards they are. All you've been trained to do is shit on your own. So you do it. Because your confidence is low, you don't believe in nothing, you have no purpose. When all you got to do is look in the goddamn mirror and say, you know what? I want me to continue. I want me to continue. I want me to continue. There's nothing wrong with the way I look. There's nothing wrong with my skin color. There's nothing wrong. In fact, black people have done the most. All the inventors. There's no America without us. All the innovation. The culture. Our black men out here dominating sports, dominating we dominate everything we get a chance to perform in. You have a lot of things you hook your hat to. A lot of things to say, you know what? We got something going here. But nah, we're going to fight all of that. Because I don't understand. Look, I don't think about white women, right? So I don't talk about flat butt Becky. Because I'm not thinking about her. My question to you is if you don't fuck with ratchet women, why are you talking about her? All black women ain't ratchet. You got a lot of women out here who are cool as shit. Now, some of them might have that feminist shit going on with them, but that's something we're going to have to deal with. But you got to have to be in a position of authority to deal with them. You're going to have your shit going. So get your shit together. Get your money up. Get you some agency. Get connected with other brothers. Create a code of conduct, and they can't move. The reason why a lot of women do what they do is because they don't have to listen to you. They can run to a simp that's going to do what they want. That's going to tolerate their bullshit because he's off code. If you was on code as black men, you wouldn't have the problems you have. Where they going to go? What they going to do? They'll be mad? Okay, let them be mad. Don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck how she feel. This is about the future. If she's not on board with the mission, then she's out. And it's the same thing with you brothers. You're not on board with the mission, you out.
So, question now, in looking at everything, but I see you on the fire. You're on the fire and the brimstone, Jay Sean. That's why I can rock with you. Why don't these? Do you think these men are willing to be masters of their own fate? And when I say master, you understand what I mean by master of your own fate. That's why I said, when we talk about doing this high level chess, I'm supposed to be doing a collab show with Lightbearer, and a few other women are buying property. And they're in buying property, they're talking about, hey, let's just go buy up some land and go off and do our own thing. Do you think men would be ready to go make that level of moves with them? Or I mean, I'm not going to say, I can't speak for everybody, but do you think why is it that is that crazy? I mean, are brothers ready for that? Like, why ain't men talking like that? Like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't like this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because
it's training, man. It's training. It's socializing. It's socializing. It's, look, all of us are not built to be leaders, right? But then on top of that, you got to take into account that it's kind of like, you remember that doll test?
Yeah. I remember the doll test.
Remember I said this, I think you was on the panel when it was on X channel. I said to be born a white person in America, you're born a racist. To be a black person born in America, you're born a coon. Because of the environment we're in, all right? Everything informs that you're less than. You're not this. Everything informs that he's in charge. You're not. Everything informs your psyche that. So by the time you're an adult, of course we got a lot of black men out here who don't see themselves as the leaders. Of course we got a lot of black men who are comfortable being under the leadership of other men. They've been socialized to be that way, just like a lot of our women have been socialized to be the way they are. So that means you got to create a new environment. There was somebody in the chat room earlier who talked about turning the TV off, and I think it ain't right. My daughter's not on social media like that. I control that. Because I know the dangers of it, and she's young, and she's growing up, and she's maturing, and like there's going to be things that are introduced to her that I don't want introduced to her that might influence her way of thinking. Now, have I been 100% perfect in that? No, because the environment is doing so fucking much fuckery, it's going to seep down to your children somehow. So the best thing you can do is be the example for your kids. All right? That's the best thing you can do. You know what I mean? And you control your environments the best way you can. But you're going to need help. And it really helps if you have a community that's on the same fucking page. They want the same thing for the children. They want the same thing for your future. You know what? The one thing I'll give JR is this. JR got balls. JR wants to push back against the system. He just doesn't have
the financial abortion.
Yeah, he wants to do something to make a change. You know what I mean? I give him that. He wants to be a leader and he wants to push back against the system to change the social norms. The only thing I will push back on him is that won't you do that with your community? Keep going, go all the way. I support your mission, but that's not the end of it. We got other things we need to do. Oh, JI's here.
I told only thing about it that when we break it down, you're not changing big pharma. That's big bank. That you just ain't. They ain't listening.
Motherfuckers get killed over that shit. But what I was saying about you, JI, in case you didn't hear, I was just talking about you. I said one thing I can appreciate about you. At least you want to do something to make change. You want to push back against the system. I just feel like you're misguided. You want to push back on one thing and not apply that same energy and that same attitude to everything.
Let me speak to that. So here, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So here's what it is, and Jay Sean, we agree on, some things. My financial abortion thing, that's a men's issue that transcends race in and of itself. But to the cis-BIM thing, the SYSBM, the reason why I'm for them is, and the reason I say our community is done is because it is. The whole fact that men in this sector, the Black manosphere has existed, these problems are not new. They've been going on for a long time. Men just now got a voice to do it. When you have people that are saying, okay, we're just going to go SYSBM, we done said this stuff for years, the attitude thing, the weave thing, whatever, they don't care. So we're done trying to fix it. We're just going to leave. And often it's the brain drain effect. It's the best of people that are considered lame, the educated lame. The fact that we have a term, educated lame, speaks to dysfunction and the backwardsness of what we have going on. And when we try to have conversations, people don't understand, like the whole doll, the fact when men would rather be with a doll than be with a real woman. And the reason why I don't knock dudes that do that, because I get it. Everybody just copes with it in their own way. But the issue is gotten so bad. If you would rather turn to a doll just to say fuck it, I'm out, I get it. But what people do in the black community, especially, we disrespect each other so much that when we have a conversation, we're not going to get to any type of real resolution, because the disrespect on top of the nigga you gay, the way we handle each other.
All right,
the way
Jay, who you talking to though? That's my question to you.
You can't build on top of that, period.
I'm saying, who you talking to though? Like, I don't talk to stupid motherfuckers neither. I refuse to, you know what I mean? There's certain people I'm not going to converse with.
You're talking about the culture, black culture as a whole. That's what.
But the culture has shifted so much, JR. We can change the culture again. The culture's always shifted. It's changing. The culture's not the same. We're not the same black people in 1920 or 1950.
JJ,
the culture's always changed.
Yeah, JJ. White people don't change; they stay the same. They're stagnant. Now we change constantly. We're on a constant change. So actually, in a way, the chaos they throw our way constantly helps in our changing and evolving. But they stay the same.
You can't undo common sense. Listen, we have our communities are done because our families have been destroyed. And that's, you got to lay that at the fault of the woman. If women wanted a family, they would have a husband before they got pregnant. Women control that vein. And the reason I harp on financial abortion for men, because men don't control the act. They're not the gatekeepers of life. Women are the gatekeepers of life. So if you have generations of women who see that poverty comes from when you have kids before you're ready, they continue to have kids in poor environments. And this is why I had to leave teaching. And you see that you're not going to be able to instill anything in these children. You're not working to be a parent. You still want to sod it up and be in the club and live your life because you had kids too young before you were ready and no kind of stable condition. That's insanity. That's what we have going on in our community. Who is JJ? Who is JJ?
I can't read it. Okay, J.I. I'm sorry, J.I. J.I. I'm a female. I'm a woman who had a career. I got a husband, and I got 2 kids. Me and my husband were married 9 years before we had our first child. And she, our first child, and then 10 years for our second child. So it's not all Black women are like in that predicament.
There's the majority.
You're going to lose some and you're going to win. And that's just the way of life.
Listen, the majority, and that's good that you did it right. But the majority of our children are had out of wedlock. You know what I'm talking about. It's the majority. The stats that we have to be honest about our community. And when people have tried to fix it or whatever they work to, they've run into issues from Black people. Now you can say that they've been cultured to do that or whatever, but common sense is common sense. There's some things that you don't have to go to college to know.
Yeah, Jab, what you're saying is this: the reason they've been trying to fix the Black community, or people who have tried to, have been trying to do it on this emotional, spiritual level. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? With the euphemisms and all that. No. We gotta get to business. You want to change Black society, you're gonna have to build that shit as business. No different. That's why I brung up Reconstruction, because we had nothing but ignorance coming off the plantations. We had people who couldn't fucking read. And from that, we went from Reconstructions to terrorism. We still built up Tulsa and other Black towns. All right? That was not easy to do. That was not easy to do. And that was a worse situation, a worse condition that we are in right now. You got people coming from third world countries with all kinds of backward shit going on in their society, and they come over here and they build. And the ones that don't want to build, they cast them aside.
We don't disagree. We don't disagree on that point.
Exactly. So my whole thing about Sis Bim is that you're telling me that's a throw in the towel movement. We're gonna go.
No, it's not.
Black community, moving on and do something else. Look, man, I don't want to hear no conversation about if I get with Mei Ling, that's still a Black child. That's nonsense. That's a mixed kid.
Well, that's a different. That's not what I'm taking.
What you're doing is you're gonna take.
Are you saying that mixed kids aren't Black?
No, they're not. They're mixed. Your kid is gonna compete with Lightbearer's kid. I don't operate by the one drop rule. I don't accept nothing white supremacists put out there. All right.
Okay.
I don't live by the rule. That's a mixed kid.
That's fair.
Right.
That's fair. Okay.
All right. We're gonna have a bunch of Clay Thompsons running around here talking about they black. No, that's not how we look like when we come off the slave ship. That is a mixed man. He might even not. He might even be half black. He might be a quadroon, octoroon for all we know. People out here claiming this is insanity. People claiming what's that girl that got married to the prince?
Meghan
Markle. Is that a black woman? You see what I'm saying? But this is the sickness that's in us.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the pride comes from. Identity, it starts off your pride.
And they've always.
Black child. I want black children. I want to continue based on the fact of what happened to us. More than anything, people didn't even go through what we went through. I'm gonna tell you something, JR. No other group has been through what we went through in history than us. No one's been through what we've been through. Nobody. No other group's been through what we've been through. Because even if you look at Jamaica and the Caribbean, at least they got their own island and identity. We're still out here arguing about what's black and what's not.
Mm-hmm. And they now they've always used the mixed thing as a war battle, a war tool against us. And the people then become white, but then they consider themselves black. Like people are stealing our identity. And they constantly stole our identity. They stole the Greece,
mixed kids don't get with a white kid or another mixed kid, and then it just gets watered down. You're not here no more. If you don't believe me,
let me get back to the why you're
Brian is like real. Her kids are white, and she's going around here calling her kids black. And that's ridiculous.
Well, let me get back to the system thing. The whole reason that the mixed thing, that black people have different opinions on that, I get that. That's a different thing. But the system thing, why men, okay, and why it's not weak, why I don't rag on men for going away and going their own way, whatever. Because
it's not saving
for
you.
years, hold on. For years, first off, hold on a second, Jason, hold on. The system people are not thinking that Mei Ling is going to save them, whatever. What they're saying is they're gonna start their own family. They're gonna have some cooperation, some peace in their house. They couldn't get it from a black woman, so they going to another woman to get it. They're not doing that. Talking about that's gonna save the black community. They're done with the community.
Yeah,
they're through with that. They're doing their own thing, and they care about their family. That's
demographic. They put that in writing. They're gonna create a new demographic, and I'm not with that. We got a demographic, JR.
Yeah, they care about their family. They're done. They're not trying to save this black community or whatever. They don't care about the family. They do whatever they want. They care about their family.
They're making it worse for the black community.
They know different than the black
community. That's not hurting the black community.
They know different than the black and women in the 80s.
They're not hurting the black community.
They are hurting
the black community is going to fix itself. Whoever's left in the black community.
The black community is hurting.
They're not.
Yeah, they're not hurting the black women in the 80s who wanted a baby with good hair.
Do you know what they did? Do you know what they did centuries ago? The same thing. How do you think we got the Persian people? How do you think we got all that stemmed from us being raped and mixed by white people?
I'm going to answer that and tell you how it's different than the swirling thing.
To conquer Africa, and they still don't have Africa totally conquered. They still working on it. I'm going to tell you how it's different from swirling. The date now is the same swirl, but I would say that if you want to compare them, okay, it's fair comparison or whatever. But it's not they don't do system out of self-hate or anything like that. When people try to say that, is they just want a cooperative woman that they can do their life with.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch that.
All right.
But I will say this, though. When your mixed child's competing with my black child for college seats, we got a problem. We got a problem.
You mean for college seats?
Especially when they hold up their moms
based off of being black?
Yeah, exactly. Based off being black. They could, in the society that we live in, the American society.
What's the problem with that?
Problem with that, because we're over here as black families. You, sis Ben, you left the community. You said the community was done. But you're going to reap the benefits off of everything that happened to us in the past. Those benefits given to black people are based on our suffering and what happened to black people, not mixed people.
Yeah, he kind of got a point there, JR.
And then not only that, they got their mom's pride.
And then you get to put them in front of our people and call them our leaders.
They got the mom's pride.
Let me
address that. Sick of black women.
Because that's a fair point.
Uplifted the mom, so now the kids think they're better than your black daughter because he raised his kids to think they're better because their mom's better than the black woman.
They put them right on top.
So let me address that then. If your kids have an inferiority complex, personally, I blame the parent, that whole light skin, whatever. That's the parents. The parents need to instill that in you. It's called self-esteem. They need to raise you in a
It
loving environment
starts
so that you
out in the
understand yourself.
community. It
Hold
comes
on,
from the
hold
community,
on, hold on.
JI. It comes from the
I'm gonna address
community.
what
Hold
he
on,
said.
let me
I'm
ask
gonna
that
address
question.
what he said about the fairness. Go ahead, BG.
AI.
Go ahead.
Let me ask the question. Let's ask the question.
Yes.
Does not SYSBM say the black culture is dead?
Says the black community is dead. Yeah.
Okay. Would that not be an inferiority complex to say that your culture, your community,
your own community
is dead?
Exactly.
No, and here's why. They're not saying that black people. This is a distinction that doesn't get made enough. They're not saying that black people inherently are inferior. They're saying that, look, black communities, that they're based off of the actions and the behaviors. They're having children with no families out of wedlock. Okay, the ratchetness and manliness of the women, the man mouth. Women got man mouth. They're wearing weave, the self hate of the weave and all that nonsense. The men glorifying, gangsters killing each other, all that stuff. That code, they're saying that is dead. They're not saying because you're black you're inferior. They're saying this behavior of this group has led to its demise, and we're not going to be a part of that. It's not that they're black.
So why? Okay, what about why do they say that the black woman is worth less than $1?
They said that the $5, because there was a study, and you can Google that the average net worth of black women is $5. That has nothing to do with
what
her
would be
being
the average
black.
net worth of a black child? What would be the average net worth of a black child that comes from something that's worth than $5, less than $5?
But that's a stat though. That's statistically, when the scientists did it, they said that they found that black women on average have a net worth of $5. That has nothing to do with SYSBM. That's the same as the birth rate being over 70%. Out of wedlock birth rate. That's just a stat.
Now hold on. I'm just asking because you have it right here where black men such as yourself are saying that hey, we're getting railroaded about child support. Nobody's listening to us. Okay, now you're saying all that. Now, would that mean that nobody is valuing you, but the black woman is in the courthouse having more say than you that is supposed to be worth more value than her?
Yeah, the system is slanted towards the woman, and it's in favor of destroying the men. Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on. The system just said that she's worth less than $5, but now the system is putting her in a point of authority for politics, judicial law, police reform.
Yes.
But not the man that's worth more than $5.
Yes.
Just think about that. Then who's worth more?
Yeah,
I think what he's
the system has gone out of its way to put women above men to keep men in subservient and abusive systems, because they know that with the woman's vote, they will be able to have those policies kept in place, because women are going to vote in their best interest, which is why I started my thing and I push for men to fight back against the systems and the laws in place against them, because men are going to have to do it. Women are not going to cede that power. Power has to be taken. So yeah, we're in agreement about that.
Wait. Hold on. Is the Latin man going to
voting? Black women aren't voting.
Let me ask this question: is the Latin man going to share power with you, or the white man, or the Asian man? Is he going to share his power and his resources with black men?
Hell no.
No, they're going to have to be taken.
Oh. So you're going
they
to
got a whole country now. Good luck.
So J.I. So basically, you don't think that the black woman needs the black man, because these people don't give a damn about no black woman. Matter of fact, they destroy the black man so they can destroy the black women. Didn't you not know that?
I gotta go do daddy duty. I'm sorry.
They use black men. Yeah, I'm very go too.
I gotta go to daddy duty.
This is a good.
Thank you, guys.
This is a real discussion. BMT, thanks for having me. Hey, JR, I actually like you. I mean,
I like JI.
I like his energy, because at least he's about, even though we disagree on philosophy or solutions, at least he's about doing the work. I read your petition, by the way. So I just want to leave on that point. Not yet. I'm thinking about it though. because I'm looking at it tactically and strategically. I'm thinking about it. That's a game changer, J.I. We need to talk.
It is.
Me and you need to talk.
It is a game
It's a
changer.
game changer. You know what I mean? Now that's kind of shit. That's kind of shit I like. You know what I mean? There's a lot of folks who run around here just talking, and bash, but they ain't about no initiatives, no action, no nothing, no plans. So I kind of like. That's why I like this motherfucker. But I don't agree with him. You know what I mean? When it comes to the community, that's what we part.
Right.
You know,
I'm all about helping our people.
Yeah.
Even JI, I'm all about helping all my people. I don't care if they call you coons or whatever. I'm about helping our people to understand themselves.
Are you for financial abortion for men?
Please come to my channel, JI, and talk with me. Jay Shine as well, and BMT.
Yes, ma'am.
You're always welcome.
What's your channel? What's your channel, Lightbearer?
Yeah, Lightbearer.
Lightbearer.
I mean, it's gonna be hard to find, but I put the link for Jay Shine in the private chat, so y'all can grab that up.
Cool.
Love and peace, brothers.
For financial abortion for men, Lightbearer.
What's financial abortion? I don't know nothing about that.
You better not say it out loud, Jay.
That's
women have a right.
We're not about to play that. You're not about to put that shit in my damn stream right now.
As a black woman,
black men commit financial abortion through the sports. NFL, our NFL black men ball players make a lot of money, and that they can be helping out, coming back home to the community and helping us separate from these devils to nip shit in the butt. But they are with white women who get the money right back and take it back to daddy. So that's financial
abortion is women can have an abortion, but men can't have an abortion. Men should be able to financially abort their responsibilities, just like a woman can have a real abortion.
Not when a child is born. You should want to be a part of that child's life.
No, but women have the right to choose abortion.
Hey, Jason,
we gotta continue this later. Please,
yes, ma'am. Lightbearer, my email is jshinerandoms@gmail.com. Okay. I just subscribed to your channel, and JI, man, me and JI probably need to do a panel 1-on-1. I think it'll be a civil discussion. And I think it'll be an enlightened one because he's coming from a perspective that I understand, you know what I mean? But I think, having brothers who got some sense talk, you know what I mean? It's always better than having dudes yelling at each other.
What is your email again?
jshinerandoms@gmail.
Randoms.
Yeah.
Randoms at Gmail.
Correct. jshinerandoms@gmail.
Well, Jason, you definitely rocked the mic today. We also had RBR. I had to kick that. Listen, y'all, we can talk.
He wanted to go.
We don't have to. We don't. We don't got to do this.
But peace to you, my brother, man. Peace to you, man. JI, keep doing your thing, brother, and we'll see each other again.
Hey, sign my petition. Don't be on the fence. Sign it.
Peace and love, brothers.
All right, brother. My man, relentless. I like that.
No, other than that, you guys, I'd like to thank you guys for coming through. Thank you guys for showing support. You came so doggone late, but it's okay. It's all good. Like I said, we're definitely we had the discussion on defunding and who's going to step up and actually start leading and running. Step up to the plate. If men are willing to do it, then hey. I got no qualms against a man that's gonna step up and say, "Yo, okay, so we got rid of the police. That's fine. I got my boomstick. I got my people. We'll handle it." So I got no qualms if we defunded it and JI and his people stepped up, then yeah, I think that's fair if them men run it. Or if it's not men, then whoever do it. But I'm like, don't talk about getting rid of or lowering down one power, but not having another power fill in the gap. I'm going to be doing a talk later on about the Manosphere has announced that they were never for family. So fuck this place. I knew it was never for family. Y'all can try to preach whatever gospel to me. I don't even listen to y'all. I never did. I really don't. Y'all don't care about black men and family. So this is not a space for me. But however, I thought it was very interesting when that came out. So we definitely are going to be looking at it a lot more differently. Me and the other content creators after we had the meeting about that. It was very interesting when that came out. And this is not a setting to building. So we need to very much so be wary of who we speak with and who we deal with. You know what I'm saying? If this is not a conducive spot towards building, then what kind of space is it? If it is, then we probably need to tell our people that we need to pull back our resources and our financial and any kind of support from these spaces, which it will die off. That I can promise you. So I think that's probably the best thing we can do. Kill off this space and just leave it alone. So yeah, I'm dead ass. I think the best thing we can do is kill off this space. So it's
that's gonna be a lit live stream that you do, man.
Oh, you already know. I'll do that. But you know what I'm saying? This is just a ghetto YouTube. It's just a ghetto gagger place. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna definitely have it. We're gonna definitely have the conversation. Because why would I not want men to be heads of the household? If this is a space that is against family or men being heads of a household, why would anybody want to come here? That's the first power you should be receiving. It's in your own home. But if men ain't getting that, then
BMT, the space, the manosphere, what I see it as, I don't see it as having one specific goal in mind. I saw it as a space for black men and black men first. That was first and foremost. A space for black men to talk about all of black men's issues and whatever we want to talk about. And just like any other group, everybody's not gonna agree. But the space was centered on black men first. So you got people.
It's not black. It's not black male first, but it's not a black male first space.
You don't think so?
No, it has.
I agree with you there because there have been people, there have been incidents where it. For me, I wouldn't even have women in the space. And I've been on the panels and I've already said that. I've already laid out my position on that. I felt it should only be black men speaking to black men and no women. Period. And they said I was too far the other way. It was too much because you already know how I get down, BMT. But I still think the space is needed. I wouldn't want to see it go away because it is still, I think, black men centered because most of the content creators are black men. We're talking about black men issues. Even when, like me and Jay Shine, even though we don't agree on everything, we still can come together and have conversations.
But you won't find Jay Shine in a lot. You know where you'll find Jay Shine in a space like mine. You'll find him over here, but you won't find him in like a lot of this stuff. Like
but you don't consider yourself black manosphere? You don't consider yourself black manosphere?
No. I've been put that flag down long time ago after I done peeped what it was going down to, and I mean honestly, I've had my tenure in. I've had my tenure. I've did my time. But I also understand that if this is a space that's not going to put forth what I represent as a man, then why would I represent a place that don't represent me? Right or wrong? I don't agree
with what you're saying, but I don't know if the manosphere has one particular thing because it's just I just considered all the black content creators that were claiming that came from anybody that I saw from like O'Shea's channel, because that's how I found everybody. I just considered them to be the black manosphere, but there's not like it's not structured. There's no structure to it.
Okay. We will have, you know what, Jay Shine, Jay, email me, and me and you will sit down and have a discussion from an older manosphere content creator to a newer content creator, and I'll give you my take. I'll give you my take. And I don't, you know me, I don't pull no punches. I done got my tenure, done been doxxed, I done had it all come my way, brother. So I mean, most of these dudes get up off of hype. If you want to know the fastest way that you're gonna blow up, go get into some controversy. That's where you're gonna blow up. Go get into controversy. Like,
sadly, that's
you
what
asked me to push forth your petition, and I did that not on just I did that on my channel, Face channel. B1 talked about it. Prophet of Thought talked about it. I did what I didn't even, but I had that much of a support because you support me. I supported you that much. Now show me the other content creators. Granted, it also was talking on the Roger Report, and I don't even be banging over there with them. So your thing, your one petition got all around, did a circular thing.
Yeah,
that was my blessing for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it too.
Now, granted, everybody was like, BMT, how can you support that? I said, because Brother J.I. comes over, he pays, he does his due, he does his time. So I don't want people to think, well, BMT, no. But I don't have to agree, but I do support brothers that literally are out there doing a damn thing. I do.
Yeah, you made it clear that you don't personally, agree with it.
But I still support. I still make sure it got out there.
Yeah, I respect that.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like there has to be some doggone, you know what I'm saying? Listen, man, we may not always agree, but damn it, we got to have that kind of key code of conduct. I asked Obsidian about how he felt about family. This dude rather defend goddamn Kevin Samuels. I said, what the fuck?
That's why I said we're not all gonna agree on whatever, but I don't want the manosphere to go away because I want us to keep being able to have these conversations.
Do you need a manosphere? Do we honestly need a manosphere? Like, can we just do black content?
I mean, we could just do black, but I like.
I mean, do
like
we even have to do black content? Can we just do content?
Well, I like the idea of a black male center space. It's for black men, run by black men. That's what drew me to the black manosphere. Black man. That's what was my interest in it. It's a place for black men, run by black men. We talking about whatever we talk about, but it's for black men by black men. So I want to see that. I want that to remain.
Okay, well, we'll definitely have
their own, thing.
We'll definitely have to set it up. Let me end this.
Yeah,
email me and we'll set it up, okay?
Thanks for having me, BMT. I'm going to email you, all right?
All right, y'all. We'll see you guys later. Peace. Thanks for live. Like the video, share the content. See you later.